And we're live. We are live. I'm going to let the list populate a bit. Got a few things on my mind I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to dedicate too much time to them in a video because I got other stuff I got to cover in the videos. It's going to be a busy fight week. Jaime Munguia is fighting Camille Zaremata. Delfimo Lopez is fighting George Cambosos. Marlon Esparza is fighting Ebeth Zamora Silva. Sulem Urbina is fighting Naoko Fujioka. Franchon Cruz is fighting Aline Cedar Ruz. It's going to be a busy week. But the reason I wanted to go live is to talk about this Floyd thing, man. This Floyd thing that, I don't know, to me it's annoying, man. To me it's annoying because I was going on Karma, what's going on, John, DeMonta, Nathan, Tommy, what's going on, y'all? Dreamland was good. I find it annoying, I do, because it's like they set the bar so high, right? When you compare a fighter to Floyd, but I don't see that done with other fighters. And it's not even like I seen what a lot of people said. I made a post on Twitter that, we should probably stop comparing young fighters to Floyd because, they're not going to be Floyd. Floyd is a one-in-a-lifetime fighter. Like, I'm not with the Maypac bullshit. Like, I like Manny. I like Floyd. I think they're both great fighters. I think they both had great runs. Any fighter would be very lucky to have half the success either of those fighters had. So I don't get caught. Like, I try not to get caught up in that kind of stuff. I really do, because I don't dislike Manny. His fans, they're annoying, but I don't dislike Manny. Like, Manny has had and is having a great career. So I don't even want to take shots at Manny. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to Floyd, you see these young guys, and they do it to themselves too. It's not even like it's just the media, and it's not even like it's just the fans. They do it to themselves too, because Devin Haney compares himself to Floyd. Shakur Stevenson compares himself to Floyd. And they shouldn't. Like, no, stop doing that. Because if you do that, people are going to come out with the expectation based on what you're saying that you the next Floyd. And then the moment you don't look like Floyd, they're going to be all over you. And what does that do to your marquee value? What does that do to your self-esteem? What does that do to your public perception? That you come out, oh, I'm Floyd and I'm this and I'm that. And then when you go out, nah, you're not Floyd, bro. Because when Floyd was at, when you was at, he would have knocked out a guy like Nicotalia. That's the truth. He'd have knocked a guy like that out. I appreciate that, Unrivaled. Oh, yeah, I seen he was eating some pussy, but I ain't mad at that like shit. I ain't mad at that like shit. I don't know why he was doing that in the car. Like, I don't understand why he doing that in the car. And there's two dudes in the front. I don't understand that. Like, I think he probably popped a Molly or an X-Pill or something. Because it's like, yo, if you got two dudes in the front of the car, why you in the back seat eating pussy? Like, you eat some pussy. Like, ain't nothing wrong with a little slice of pussy in the afternoon or in the evening. But why the fuck would you be doing that in a car with two dudes in the front? Like, I don't understand that. But that dude is a train wreck, man. Like, ain't nothing wrong with a little Sunday slice of pussy. That's fine. I ain't mad at that. I don't think the highway is the best place to be eating pussy, but yeah, like it's all this Floyd stuff that's getting on my nerves. ESPN spent the entire week cross-comparing the statistics for Shakur Stevenson. It was good, Cat. Yeah, I ain't mad at AB, man. Like, shit, ain't nothing wrong with eating some pussy. Shit. Fuck. I ain't mad at that. That's the most sane thing he's done in recent memory. Like, oh, AB was eating some pussy? Well, I ain't mad at that. Shit. Hey, what's goody, Jonathan? What's goody, Eliza? What's goody, JD? It's all this Floyd shit that I'm like, yo, y'all got to stop comparing. You know what the thing is? When Xander Zayas, or even Felix Verdejo, or even Barboza, or even just any fighter that comes out of Puerto Rico, right? You don't constantly hear them saying, oh, well, this is going to be the next Tito, or this is going to be the next Trinidad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't hear that. But when we dealing with the young fighters out of America, this is going to be the next. Like, you got to stop doing that, because you create an expectation that these kids can't live up to. They can't live up to that. When Floyd was 17-0, he fought Genaro Hernandez, who had 38 wins, 1 loss, just one, to Oscar De La Hoya. That was it. All right. He was WBC champion. He was like, Floyd was a killer. Like, I don't care how you feel about, what happened to him afterwards and all this. I don't care about nothing. Floyd was a motherfucking killer at 135.
Ring, what's going on?
All right, what's going on, Rival? What's going on, Spade? What's going on, Beats? What's going on, John? Floyd was a fucking killer. All right, don't talk to me about Devin. Don't talk to me about Shakur. Don't even talk to me about Teofimo. Not even him. Floyd was a motherfucking killer at that stage in his career. Like, nah, bro. He was lucky Gennaro gave him the goddamn shot. He was lucky to get that fight.
But Ring, you want to know what it is? Every generation, when we're transitioning into another generation, whoever's next up is always going to be compared to whatever was last.
I dig that, Spade. But I'm saying that
who was Floyd compared to?
Exactly. I mean, he was compared to Purnell.
Yeah,
if we want to be real, he was compared to Purnell. I remember that they used.
Oh, that was a very low amount of quality of comparison.
I'll tell you what, Mark. I'll tell you what. You right that they wasn't doing it because I remember they used to bring Floyd and Purnell's names was synonymous, but not the way that Devin and Shakur. It's like it got to stop because you create an expectation. The media is creating an expectation, and the young fighters are putting a burden on themselves that you cannot live up to that, bro. I'm telling you right now, nah, Devin. You're a good fighter. You're a good fighter, and you're probably gonna have a really good career. But I tell you, by now, Floyd had scalps, bro. Floyd had scalps. But by now, where you at right now, when he was where you was at right now, he already had scalps.
But Ring, you want to know what I'm gonna add to it? The reason why the comparisons between Floyd and Purnell never stuck, because Floyd himself never compared himself with Purnell. You've never heard Floyd say, "Yeah, I'm the next Purnell," or "I did this like Purnell." He let people say that, but he differentiated himself over time. What these guys are doing this generation, automatically they're comparing themselves to Floyd. Because I was watching some kind of a pre-documentary before the fight of Shakur Stevenson, and what he said himself is, "Yeah, I think me and Floyd got a lot of similarities, but if I was to fight Floyd this time, I would be better than he'd have a hard time with me, and I would beat him," something like that. You're automatically putting yourself second behind Floyd.
Well, I'm gonna let everybody chime in on this in a second. What I'm gonna say is that I agree with the contention that sometimes the next generation or the generation we in is gonna compare themselves to the generation of the past. Because you look at Wilder and he trying to be Mike Tyson so motherfucking hard, and he's not. Baddest man on the planet. Nah, bruh, not you. You lucky, you would be lucky to have a Klitschko run, let alone a Tyson run. Fuck is he talking about? But that dude faking. I don't want to spend time on him. It's not uncommon for the current generation to compare themselves to the previous generation. But what I noticed is this generation is a little bit softer than the generations before it. They got like self-conscious issues. Case in point, Ryan Garcia having asthma attacks about anxiety and shit. Like their skin is not that thick for what comes with that, especially now that social media is around. Motherfuckers will pile on you in a minute over a bad performance. Before you had to worry about the newspapers and the pundits attacking you. You see what I mean? And yeah, the crowd might boo, they might throw popcorn, but all throughout the buildup of a fight or in between fights, you didn't actually have all that many people attacking you. The way it is now, you can't get away from these motherfuckers. If you post a sandwich that you eating, motherfuckers gonna be like, "Yo, you ducking so and so. Oh, you fucking suck. You couldn't knock out Nicatelli." It's like, yo, dog, like stop putting that burden on yourself and just be you and focus on being you and stop putting that Floyd, because that Floyd shit is tired. Broner was supposed to be Floyd. Devin's supposed to be Floyd. Shakur is supposed to be Floyd. When Keyshawn has a couple of fights, I'm pretty. Oh, he the next Floyd. It's gonna start. It's gonna start. But let Floyd be Floyd and let you be you. How about that?
But another thing is that the reason why they shouldn't be comparing themselves to Floyd is because they compare themselves to Floyd in terms of current success, but not in terms of whether they actually accomplished, right? Because Floyd actually had some accomplishments before he became Money Mayweather, right?
Well,
Floyd could make those demands and talk big because he actually proved something. These guys haven't proved anything as of yet. They have potential to prove. They're trying to sell off potential. Floyd actually became big off substance.
all right, I'm gonna let Mark. Mark, what do you think about that shit?
Let someone else go. I'm in a noisy spot.
All right, I got you. John, what do you think about that shit?
About people comparing themselves to Floyd or being compared to Floyd. I think it's pretty ridiculous because most of the time they're busy telling you what they deserve when they're doing it. They're telling you who they're going to fight and who they're not going to fight and why they don't respect people. Whereas Floyd wasn't doing that. To start off with, when Floyd was building his career, he fought everybody and beat everybody. I'd knocked a lot of people out of the
All right.
When someone can't punch, they tend to say they're like Floyd. Like Floyd wasn't underpowered at 130, 135 pounds.
Well, the thing is, I remember, like, and before I pass it to Beats, the thing is that Floyd, and this is gonna sound like a cliche, Floyd was hungry at that stage. He wasn't a millionaire. He literally was not a millionaire yet. He wasn't getting those kinds of purses.
There's more to it than that as well. It's like that. Floyd wasn't a big welterweight, was it?
Like he wasn't. The way that Devin Haney's getting paid, and even the way that Shakur Stevenson is getting paid, the way that Teofimo Lopez is getting paid right now, Floyd was not getting those kinds of purses at 15 and 16 and 0. So that kept him in a place where I got to be good to get at the money. I got to be good. I got to be extra good. I got to be super fucking good to get at the money. Because if he was like these fighters that, you think you arrived already because you won, 2 good fights, or 3. Some of these guys, they don't even have that Lopez has. He never would have became what he became. He never would have got at that money because these cats, they think they superstars are, and they not like
unknown caller.
And that's what I mean by Floyd had substance and these guys have potential. Like
now, Beats, what do you think about that shit?
I think Devin and Alex Stevenson, they're kind of losing the African American identity where defense is cool. I was looking at Lewis recently. He topped the bill, and he got beaten up because he didn't have no defense. So I think you need tougher skin. And you need to be stick what you're good at, because in the long run, it's that defense that's going to get them to where they're going to get, whether that's going to be ATG, world champion. That's what's going to get them there, is that defense, like punching power and excitement and all that stuff there. Listen, you could knock someone out and look good in 3 fights, and then bang, bam, 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 your career's over because you don't know how to defend yourself in one fight after one of them knockouts. So I think social media has left them with the expectation that they have to be crash and bang merchants, but man, crash and bang they normally get caught out and burn out.
Look, this is the thing. I know a lot of people are coming at Shakur because he didn't knock Nicotelia out, right? But if I give you a scenario. If Shakur doesn't compare himself to Floyd, and the media, the press, ESPN, they don't compare him to Floyd, what's the Nicotelia fight? A dominant decision, a one-sided decision in a fight that never got away from him. That's what it is without the buzz. That's what it is without the hype and without the perception and the expectation. That's what it is. Like, the dude is a puncher. He do got knockouts. He's a big guy for what was it? 130. He's a big guy for 130. He's got height. He's got reach. He's got punch. You take away all the bells and whistles, and Shakur won a fight that never got away from him. But you don't get to give him his flowers because Shakur is telling you how he's like Floyd, because ESPN is putting the stats up there on how, you can't land on Shakur. Well, of course you can't land on Shakur. He's defensive most of the time. He's not opening up. He's not throwing punches. They showed his stats and Floyd's stats, right? And what you saw is that Shakur, actually got hit less than Floyd. But the reason he was getting hit less than Floyd is because he was throwing less than Floyd. You fighting negative, bro. It's a thin line between being defensive and fighting negative. Even Floyd threw more than you, and that's saying a lot. Even that's how you're supposed to look at them numbers. That damn, yo, even Floyd threw more than you. You need to pick it up because you're a better boxer than this guy. You are a better boxer than this guy, but you got to close the show, bro, because you don't want to end up in the who needs your club. You end up in that club. It's hard to get out that club. It is, all right. And let's cut the shit. You want people to watch your fight. You want people to come. You want people to show up. And my channel, Beats' channel, Mark's channel, we can beg and plead and cry and say, oh, it's good box. We could do that shit all day, and that ain't gonna make you interesting, bro. That's the truth. Now, Andre Ward, he wanted to be a little hypocrite about the shit, and I was gonna do a video about that, but that's just semantics. I was like, yo, how the fuck you gonna tell him that he need to be more excited? Like, bro, come on now. I've always respected Andre Ward's character and his boxing, but he had a lapse in character when he said, like, what the, didn't you just do a fight hype video 3 years ago about not doing what people want you to do, not being fan friendly?
No fan service.
Ring, I got something to add to that, right? With Andre Ward's situation. I think Andre Ward was speaking like that because I think something is wrong between him and Shakur. Something happened to their relationship. I just don't know what.
I agree with you because I felt it. The boxing gods touched me on the shoulder during the fight, and they told me that this might have something to do with the Warrington situation. A part of me feels Beats touched on this on his channel, that I believe it was Beats, and I agree that I don't think that Ward and the people handling Shakur's career were upfront with him about what Eddie Hearn offered him, because they was arguing on Twitter about the Warrington fight, and Shakur was saying this and that, and Eddie was like, yo, we talked to your people already. We already sent you something. What I feel, that's just me, that whatever he sent them, they didn't show it to him. Otherwise, Shakur would have took it, because it's like, yo, dog, Shakur could have won that fight. Who said? Who knows? Josh is not a big puncher, and neither is Shakur. But, you know, Shakur, he's young. He was big for that weight. He was big for featherweight. He stands a chance. I don't think they wanted to put him in that situation, so they didn't. Probably for fear that it's going to go to the cards and the cards are going to come back looking funny. Who knows? But I do feel that there's a rift, and I remember Beats said it when they was arguing, that there might be a rift there or a miscommunication, that like Eddie don't got like this the other shit, and I don't want to make this an Eddie Hearn episode, but it's like, yo, dog, it's the same thing. He's sending you cats offers, bruh. He is sending you cats money, and y'all don't want to take it. So I don't want to hear this, oh, Eddie Hearn is like, no, dog, he's sending y'all bread.
Right? That's the problem, right? As soon as you point this out, oh, you guys suck up to Eddie Hearn. Look, most of the times, Eddie's got receipts that he's made you an offer that you haven't had before in your career. And you can see it's afflicted a lot of fighters. Kalanaki, Ortiz, Stevenson knows he should have took that offer. And loads more. Adrian Brody the other day was asking Eddie to come phone him.
Gary Russell too, Beats. Gary Russell.
The thing is,
truth is the truth. It's as simple as that. Sorry, John. Sorry. It's not a matter of sucking up anybody. If someone is doing a good job, they're doing a good job. And if you can't handle that and saying that's you sucking up, that means you've just got insecurity issues.
Exactly.
Maybe, I don't know, something about Eddie is making you feel insecure. But listen, Shaq should have took that fight before the Mexican against Warrington.
I agree.
The thing is, though, what if they didn't want to go over there and they were worried about the fans? Why didn't they send the fans offers? We'd never get any fans offers coming the other way.
John, you know what the thing is? They're worried that they're not knockout punches. They're worried that they're not knockout punches, and they're not going to get a fair shake on the card. That's what it is. But
send a counter offer and have the fight. You stage the fight, so you're the home fighter.
Bro, you think Gary Russell has over $1 million to bring Josh Warrington to America?
What about Shakur?
I don't think Top Rank's that invested in. I don't. The money would have had to come from Top Rank first and foremost. That if you're Shakur Stevenson and you don't want to go to England for the fight, you want to bring Josh to you, Bob's got to put up the money. We know Bob is a cheap son of a bitch, so that ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Well, then people need to calm down when you're pointing out the fact that Eddie's always putting offers out because nobody else sends out offers.
Now,
What
to
people
the
tell
point.
Eddie how much they want, but never actually send an offer.
To the point that I was trying to make, all right? To the point that I was trying to make, you can't, like, if it's not even you can't, because we're spectators in a spectator sport. It's cause and effect, it's all causality. If your people don't believe you enough in you to send you over there, if they don't believe enough in you, don't call it nothing else, because that's what the fuck it is. They don't believe enough in you to send you over there. I might think Shakur could beat Josh. I might think that Gary would have beat Josh, but it don't mean shit if they don't send you over there. They offered you $1 million to go over there and unify with Josh. You rather do nothing because you haven't done nothing since then. They made him that offer in January, I believe it was. It was January or February of this year. You still don't have a fight on paper. You still don't. So because you don't have a fight on paper and we're in June now, all right, you could have literally fucking fought Josh, unified, and still fought Ray Vargas. Here today, the Ray Vargas fight don't even got a fucking fight date. So you wasting time, and that's what you ain't gonna get back because you ain't getting younger. You're getting older. You ain't getting younger. You lost all that time doing nothing.
Gary's on that Keith Foreman part-time semi-retired circuit, though, isn't he?
He's in the chicken and gizzard circuit. Now,
no, he's not quite. I'm on about Shakur.
Quickly, because I don't think they heard me because my mic was Jerry. There's no point in these guys losing their ID to try and throw the crowd, right? Because Terence Crawford ain't boring. And he can't get a career-defining fight for the life of him.
That's
right?
true.
They might as well be patient, do what you're doing, what you've been taught, because if you don't get knocked out trying to please anyone, then, you know what I mean, you'll be obsolete over there. You won't get knocked out in American boxing right now. They'll just leave you obsolete.
Beats, there isn't like a middle ground. Like there's nothing wrong with trying to set up knockout rather and being defensively responsible.
No, there ain't no middle ground. Really. If you get knocked out, there's no middle ground.
There is no middle ground.
There's no middle ground if you get knocked out. However, looking to set up an effective knockout as opposed to charging in there, there is a difference.
John, what I'm gonna say, John, I know what you're getting at. What I'm gonna say is there is a middle ground. You're absolutely right. You need the ring IQ to do that. Shakur doesn't have it yet. He will. Devin doesn't have it yet. He will.
But that's okay.
That's okay. I'm not. This is the thing. It would be okay if they'd stop fucking comparing these kids to Floyd. Then it would be okay. You don't look. You don't see nobody. Wait a minute. You don't see nobody bothering Mark Castro with the name of Cuban fighters of the past. You don't see what because he doesn't say shit. He's not saying that shit, and ain't nobody saying that shit for him. Xander Zayas, they're saying, oh, Xander could be the face of Puerto Rican boxing. Cool, yeah, he probably could, but you don't see them hounding him with the name of Miguel Cotto or with the name of Felix Trinidad. You don't see motherfuckers doing that. You really don't. That burden is not on him. The only burden, if it's a burden, or he could be the face of Puerto Rican boxing. Well, that's a very broad fucking spectrum statement.
I never heard anybody say Carl Frampton could be the next Barry McGuigan.
There you go. There you go.
No, that's a good one.
There you go.
It's a good one.
And Barry's a huge name here. Huge name here.
Yeah, Barry's massive. He's massive over this side as well. We
sing songs about Barry in my village. And Shane. Finest motherfucking trainers UK has produced in many years.
That's the thing that these guys don't seem to understand. Floyd's ring IQ enabled him to know when he could look for a knockout or when it was best to win the point. That decision making, they should be aiming to learn it rather than running around saying that they're the next Floyd.
Well, I'm gonna also say that Floyd came from a more dysfunction. Floyd is not a street dude. Let's get that right out of the way. Floyd isn't actually a street dude. And neither is Devin, neither is Shakur. But I do feel that Floyd came from a harsher environment due to the dysfunction of his family. So he came up kind of rough. And when he was at where they was at, he was a more vicious fighter than they are. Like that goes without saying. Like I don't want to hear all that Maypac hard feelings bullshit. I watched the man whole career, bro. That dude was a fucking animal.
Yeah,
When
but
he
you see,
was at where they was at, yeah, he's an animal.
Here's the thing, though, right? Here's the thing, right? A lot of people don't. No, they don't know shit about boxing, right? Because if you watch Floyd Senior, he's very aggressive. Didn't have much power. Used to bark a lot. Used to finish up, but he was a very aggressive fighter. And his uncle was very aggressive. So all this Floyd runs point out these fights before Floyd is running from anyone.
Bro,
I mean, I don't know these fights.
Beats all that shit that they say about, and it's not, look, it's not Floyd Appreciation Day because I like Manny, all right? I like Manny. I don't dislike Manny. I like them both. They're both fucking good, all right? You could like them both. But all that shit that they said about Floyd is the fake Packy. Oh, he be running. Bro, he fights in the pocket most of the time. What the fuck are you talking about? Lara, like if you told me, yo, I think Lara's, I would say, okay, Lara, if we're gonna accuse somebody of too much lateral movement and fighting negative, okay, I'd say that about Lara before I say that about Floyd.
And even Lara, I call him a Miller. I wouldn't call her a runner. I call him a Miller. I call him a Miller, not a runner. He's a Miller.
If anyone talks to me about Floyd running, I say, go and watch the Ricky Hatton fight. What are you talking about?
It's like they say he never had entertaining fights. I could wholeheartedly say as a Mayweather fan, the fights where I was kind of bored, the Guerrero fight, the Berto fight, because he wasn't even really trying, like, but that's how good he was. He doesn't have to try to beat Berto. The Ghost fight, the Berto fight, the Victor Ortiz fight, it wasn't that it was boring, it's just we know how it ended. Like it didn't get to turn into a fight because Victor was acting stupid.
I actually
the fight that I really enjoyed the Floyd.
Well, the Philip Endo fight was exciting. That was why that come up, man.
The Pacquiao fight was boring, but I put that on Manny because I felt like Manny didn't really engage.
These are the fights that really caught my attention. It was the
Cotto fight.
Yes, the Cotto fight. That and Maidana, the first one, because I really felt like the pressure was really getting to Floyd. That's why he really wanted to rematch, his opponents. The one with Castillo, that also was how he contested. And I also, the one that I really liked the most was his fight with Sab Judy, where he turned it around. He toned him down.
All right, let me address this comment, Virtuoso. First off, this is what I'm talking about. This is the made up bullshit. What fucking fighter, while Floyd was active, was like Floyd? Who? This is the made up bullshit that like who the fuck do you think was like? I don't understand. Like that's like saying Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard never fought somebody like Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard was the fucking Sugar Ray Leonard, all right? He was the Sugar Ray. He was that. There wasn't nobody running around like him. Tommy was Tommy. Sugar was Sugar. Duran was Duran. And Hagler was Hagler. And if you
I mentioned Zab Judah, and he had a counterpunching style.
Zab wasn't like Floyd though. Like in what way? In what way?
Exactly.
It's a lot of shit, and once again, I don't want to turn it into Floyd Appreciation Hour. Like I don't.
It should be Floyd Appreciation Hour. It should be.
You know what, Beats? You might be right. Because I know a lot of shit. I was just arguing. Hold on, Virtuoso. Hold on. I was just arguing with a dude on Twitter that he was like, "Oh, all the guys that Floyd beat got knocked out before." Yeah, including Manny. You dumb fuck. By your logic, Manny must be a piece of trash because he got knocked out 2 times before he was even 20-0. That's these fucking dickhead standards that these dudes make. It's like I don't understand. Like, were you watching boxing during this time? Because it really doesn't sound like you were. Honestly, it doesn't. Floyd's career, and I don't believe in that TBE shit. I never have. I never will. That's bullshit. But yeah, that dude's career was a really, really good career. Was it fun? No, it wasn't always fun. That Pacquiao, that stretch that we were waiting for the fight, yeah, it was fucking annoying. That's why we're here now in this bullshit. But you can't put that on Floyd. when Freddie Roach is on camera saying, yeah, we could have had the fight sooner, but we dropped the ball. Like, come on now. Certain shit is stupid to me. Oh, the Canelo when Canelo was green. Cut the shit, because if Lomachenko would have beat Lopez, none of you motherfuckers would have said Lopez was too green. If Loma would have beat Davis, if they would have had that fight, none of you motherfuckers would have said Davis was green. So how the fuck is Canelo green, quote unquote green, in the Floyd fight when he had 41 fucking fights, a belt, and was coming off a career best win over Trout, who beat Cotto?
Yo, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The best shit on YouTube recently, right, is when that guy from the Boxing Voice interviewed Keith Thurman, and he tried to big up Canelo. If Canelo climbed up a tree with one hand and beats Caleb Plant, is there an argument that he got better to the Floyd? And Keith just put it to him. Lesser or better? Lesser or better? Say it out loud. Is he lesser or better? Couldn't say nothing. Lesser. Floyd is better. Bottom line. He's better than Canelo. And that's what they're trying to do with him and Matt, with Canelo and Manny, right? They're trying to say, oh, you beat Spence, then, you know what I mean, your legacy better. Listen, Floyd schooled both of you, and he's better than both of you. Live with it. Whether you're, you know what I mean, if you're a Floyd hater, live with it.
I'm going to say this. I like Manny, right? I didn't always like Canelo. I went from liking Canelo to not liking Canelo from 2017 to 2018. I stopped liking him because of all the waiting and all the bullshit. And then I started liking him again because he took on Danny Jacobs. It was the Danny Jacobs fight that I was like, you know what? I like it. I like that fight because he could swerve that dude, but nah, he fighting him. Danny has a better resume. Remember, Danny has a better middleweight resume than Charlo. I don't want to fucking hear it. Charlo don't have a Peter Quillen on his resume. He don't. You fight
so Danny and Charlo's resumes aren't even comparable. Come on.
They're not, to be honest. But I'm just characterizing what was it about the Jacobs fight that made me start liking him again. And it's like, yo, you know what, Danny? I know Charlo wants to fight. I know he wants to fight, but Danny has a better resume than fucking Charlo. And Danny has a bigger name than Charlo. Danny been on pay-per-view with Gennady Golovkin, and he gave him the best fight of his career before you did. So, yeah, I like the fight. And from then on, I was like, all right, I'm going to fuck with Canelo, and I'm going to see what he do. Because obviously I was being hard on him because of the Golovkin bullshit and the fake-ass draw. Because I still don't think that fight was a draw. It wasn't a draw, not to me. It was clear Golovkin win. The second fight, better argument that you could have swung it for Canelo.
Yeah.
Better argument.
Julius, I got to attribute these stupid ass comments like this. It's like to either selective memory or recency bias. Because like if it goes to show that you haven't been watching, you know, Floyd's career at junior, lightweight, super lightweight, those divisions where he basically turned up the heat and let his hands go. He was a good ass action fighter. He was a sharp volley puncher, you know. And the guy knew how to cut the ring off, knew how to evade shots. It was all that, man. You know, but now you get to this money Mayweather's phase of his career that, you know, brought a lot of attention, you know, and it was more cynical.
All right, let me address Jay Bones. Jay Bones, you don't like boxing, bro. Because the shit you saying, there's not a fucking fighter in the world that doesn't have fights like that. Any fighter that gets to where Canelo got, that gets to where Floyd got, that gets to where Oscar got, where Manny got, where Leonard got, where Robinson, you're gonna have those fights, bro. So you just don't like boxing. That's how I look, because I don't know what I don't know who's fucking resident. Like, I just don't understand. Like, what's the expectation, bro?
I don't know why people are on Canelo's case at the moment, because I've been very critical. But since he's left Golden Boy, he seems to be moving along in the right way. He's trying to be active, trying to fight people.
You know, you got Chavez, who has.
And we're not getting any clauses in the contracts anymore either since he left Oscar.
You got guys like Chavez, right, who fought Ramon Arumburu. Bear in mind, Chavez is one of the greats, but he has Ramon Arumburu in there. That would not be allowed in today's day and age, that kind of a fight. I don't care why he fought the fight. That would not be allowed. That fight would not be sanctioned. You would have to have that fight in a shack in Argentina under the arena because that would not be allowed. All right. So miss me with the, oh, he fought Hostess. Yeah, Josecito Lopez was an opportunistic opponent. I acknowledge that. I also acknowledge a lot of people have opportunistic opponents.
Well, it wasn't really though. It wasn't though. It wasn't. When Lopez fought Ortiz, Ortiz was supposed to put him away, and then he was supposed to challenge Canelo, which would have been a good test for Canelo. But we saw Ortiz got his jaw bust, and then it was Lopez to get the fight.
Yeah,
that was fair. That was just fair and square. It wasn't a cherry pick.
I think it was because, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he bring Lopez up? Wasn't it Lopez or was it Centron that he brought up? One of them he brought up. One of them, I think he brought him up to junior middleweight. And that was the critique for the fight. It was either him or Gomez or one of them. One of them he brought up. And that was the big criticism. What I'm saying is, even if this is bad, as you say it is, right? Other fighters have fights like that. Do you do this to them? No, you don't. You don't.
So why should Lopez get the Canelo fight if he knocked out Ortiz? If Ortiz was promised the fight, you get past Lopez, then you get the Canelo fight. Why shouldn't Lopez get the fight, even if it was one-sided?
It's the same shit with Shane and Floyd. Oh, he didn't fight Margarito. Shane beat the living shit out of Margarito. Shane got the fight. What's the problem? You watched Margarito get his fucking ass beat, right? You watched the hellacious beating that Shane put on Margarito. Who he fought after that? He fought fucking Floyd. But you still talking about Margarito. Like, you a dickhead. This is dickhead shit. Like, it's dickhead shit. It's dickhead shit.
How are they saying that, like, you know what I mean? Like, Lopez had no business being... Canelo wasn't no fucking superstar at the time. Or who he was today. What are you talking about? That was a fair fight. It was a fair fight.
There's just a lot of shit. Like I said, I don't want to turn it into Floyd Appreciation Hour because I'm not trying to plead with these people to like Floyd. I'm just giving you the facts. That these is the facts. A lot of the shit that I be seeing, it's like, that shit doesn't make sense, dog. You wasn't watching boxing when that happened. Like, I do try to tell me, oh, the judges' scorecards was funny in the De La Hoya fight. And I'm like, yeah, but Oscar was the ace side. Oscar was the marquee fighter. We ain't gonna do Floyd no fucking favors. So what the fuck? If they were gonna swing it to somebody, they would have swung it to Oscar. Oscar was throwing a lot of shit that wasn't landing. I ain't forget that fight. He was throwing a lot of punches that was getting caught on the arms and gloves. You just giving it to him because you like him and you don't like Floyd. It's like, really, it's that simple. Silly shit. Silly shit. Like, cut that shit.
Isn't that probably one of the most important aspects of the boxing conversation is unwarranted critique? Because without unwarranted critique, we won't have discussion, and most fighters won't become stars.
That's not true because there's good discussions.
No, I believe that's wrong.
There's good discussions to have in boxing, right? But certain shit after a while, it does get stupid. Certain, especially when it comes to that.
I feel you. Can I ask you an honest question though, Julius? An honest question. Would Floyd Mayweather have been a star if he had to rely on only his own fan base?
No. Easy answer, no.
Yeah, but some people can be, some people can't. So Floyd just knew he had to be a heel, and he did it well. Like Leonard was a golden boy. Some people just have personas put on them, don't they?
It's the luck of the draw. It's the luck of the draw because. But yeah. John, it's the luck of the draw because a lot of people feel that Floyd played the heel due to, for lack of a better word, racial tension and ethnic stuff. That's how people feel. But these are people. Wait. These are people. All right. Holyfield was not a heel. Leonard was not a heel. All right. So all that shit you saying is that's bullshit. Leonard was not a heel. He wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't playing a bad guy.
Golden boy of boxing. He was groomed for superstardom from the day down. I think these things get thrust upon you, don't they? A bit.
All of that shit is some feel sorry for me shit, for lack of a better word. That's what I call that shit. That's what I file it under. Some feel sorry. Oh, why he gotta play the heel? Hey, stupid. You do realize that not every fighter played the hill, right? I mean, you do understand that. The shit you saying don't apply, all right? When Tyson, before all the Robin Gibbons shit happened, and all the baddest man on the planet shit happened, he was Kid Dynamite, and the whole fucking country loved him. The whole goddamn country was in love with Mike Tyson, and he wasn't playing the heel.
Yeah. But also though, I think playing the heel can be really lucrative. It can make you money, and there's nothing wrong with it.
It's not that. It's not. Of course, it's lucrative. We see that in Ric Flair's persona.
But my point about it, Julius, is if people are going to get emotional because someone's playing the heel, then they're the people that haven't got the best IQ, and they're the one who are having the money taken from them.
But that's the point that I'm making. That don't turn Floyd playing the heel into some kind of a public awareness issue, because it's fucking not. All right, he played the heel because that's what he wanted to do. So don't throw me a pity party about how he had to do that. No, he didn't have to do that. There's other ways you could go about it, because Leonard was not a heel in the beginning. Mike Tyson wasn't a fucking heel, and everybody loved him.
What's the definition of what heel is? What's the
heel is the bad guy and the antagonist, the antagonistic fighter.
It's a bit of a wrestling thing. Really?
Well, if Floyd didn't go to the antagonist, how would he have gone?
I would say if Floyd wasn't going to be the antagonist, given how he was, he could have been the cocky, confident fighter without being the heel. You didn't have to wear Mexican outfits to your fights. That's you being a heel. Why are you doing that? You ain't Mexican.
Is it one or the other? Is there in between? You can. I
believe so, because I believe Teofimo Lopez is a small example of that. He's not being the heel. I don't consider him the heel. He's just the brash young fighter. There's distinctions. When you go as far, now wait a minute. When you go as far, if I'm fighting a Japanese fighter, right, for example, and I come out there with a samurai outfit, that's a low key fuck you. That's what that is.
Is that what Hopkins was doing when he stepped on the court?
Yes. Because you don't have to do that to fight a man. You insulting an entire people to sell a fight. So you being a heel, you don't got to step on. You don't got to do that.
You got totally bland people like Andre Ward, who'd never really went around defending people very often at all, and just did all his fighting in the ring.
Well, Ward,
but he wasn't a babyface either, was he? Really?
No. But Ward,
he was kind of vanilla.
Andre Ward's style of fighting did not lend itself to much in terms of marketing angles. Like it didn't.
Well, really, Andre did not lend himself because he didn't have a persona that they could sell, and his fighting style wasn't one that could sell either.
Like, look,
of someone who's not doing any of them.
I'm gonna give you an example of our retired friend Sasha. Sasha has violently knocked out men for years, about 16 years. You never saw him take the Cuban flag and step on it for Mike Perez. You never saw him take the Ukrainian flag and step on it. You like this shit that people do is stupid American shit. Because
Muhammad Ali was a heel, wasn't he?
Yeah, but that was on purpose, Beats. So all the things he did to Sonny Liston, he got advice from wrestlers about how.
Floyd did it on purpose as well. They were doing it on purpose.
But Beats. Was Ali?
No. Ali got mentored by wrestlers. So when he was taking his bed,
it's all done on purpose. It's
more like if you're gonna beat a heel, your fans should not be crying about it. Floyd, come on, dog. Like, you want me to feel sorry for him? He don't have to do that though. He don't. He chooses to do that to sell the fight. So if he gonna choose to do that, be a fucking man and accept the goddamn shit. Stop expecting me to feel sorry for motherfuckers, because not every motherfucker does that shit. In fact,
Floyd don't need sympathy. Who says Floyd needs sympathy?
I swear to God, I've seen that. I swear to God. That's why both Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. on the Breakfast Club addressed that question. But Terrence Crawford in particular, he said, why do I have to be hated for you to love me? Why you can't just love me for my fighting? Why do I got to be the bad guy? I don't want to be the bad guy. There's a feeling that, if you a certain fighter and you an American-based fighter, you being pressured into being that. No, you not. That's in your head, bro, because it's been more successful fighters than you that didn't do that. Holyfield didn't do that at no point. When Foreman came back, he was like a fucking Huggy Bear. Everybody loved the man. My grandmother loved the fucking man because he was friendlier.
Santa Claus George.
He's doing Meineke commercials and get Mako and selling grills,
to
and
be
everybody
fair-
liked him.
To be fair, though, there was a lot of love for George for nostalgia purposes, but George was actually a heel.
Not when he
George
came.
wasn't
No, not when
Not
he came.
when, not when he came back, but people loved him because this is the ATG George Foreman.
Okay, but
He
when
did
George
change
was in his prime,
way
when George was in his prime, he wasn't talking. He wasn't popping shit. George wasn't a mouth.
But Mark, if you listen to him being interviewed, he did make a conscious effort to be different. Like when he first started boxing and he was sparring Sonny, he admits that he was intentionally copied how Sonny Liston conducted himself, and he thought that was the best way to approach it. And when he comes back, he's a totally different person because he's been a preacher for all that time, and his mission.
I know that he was a completely different person.
I know the history, but when you listen to his interviews,
the point is being completely
become much more.
George Foreman didn't need to be different. He didn't come back to, and it wasn't because he was all lovey-dovey and a huggy bear that people loved him. People loved him because he was George Foreman and he was back.
That's not true. They didn't take his comeback seriously. They didn't love him. No. Bro, I'm trying to talk to you. I lived through that era.
Let me support your argument, Julius, right? Because they didn't take his comeback serious, he played into that. Oh, I'm going to eat a hamburger before the fight.
Beach, you remember.
I need a big plate of ice cream. And he played into that.
He made himself endearing to the fans.
But he
wasn't. He's very all shucks, but like people didn't take him seriously because he was out of his time, based on perception.
The other thing, when you listen to George talk, he'd learned to sell in the interim period. So he was selling from day dot, and he knew that if he was going to play along with the things that people were joking at, he'd sell more. And that's what he did. George is a fantastic
person. Just before the Michael Moorer fight, when he wound up Teddy Atlas. Atlas was acting like he was going to fight him. And Foreman just, go away and get me a sandwich. Move.
Yeah.
Yo, look. It wasn't till I think it was the Holyfield fight that he lost. It wasn't till that performance that they was like, yo, George is fucking serious. Like, he's really trying to win a title. But he wasn't a heel. He wasn't trying to rile people up or ruffle people's feathers. He was just playing along with their bullshit. Like, oh, he's a happier dude.
George was trying to make money for his church. His why he came back. He's just sell the whole time.
But once again, he wasn't a heel. He was not a heel.
If anything, Julius, he's a baby.
He's a baby face.
Yeah, but he's selling.
That's the funniest shit about George.
He did work the crowd. He did work the crowd. He did work them.
But not as a heel. Like you got a Hulk Hogan and you got a Ric Flair. If George was any of those, he was more of a Hulk Hogan than a Ric Flair.
The babyface persona can sell just as much as the heel. It just depends what people buy into. You need both to have the sale. It's just about selling.
I'll say Larry Holmes was more of a heel than George Foreman ever was.
Larry Holmes just cantankerous.
He's gonna talk shit, bro, and he's gonna talk shit to make you fucking mad. Okay, well that's a heel. He's trying to get you mad.
Really to sell. I think that's who Larry is. I think that's just his actual personality.
It went a few ways, didn't it? It went a few ways. Like the press never let him come out Ali's shadow, and then the Marciano thing came along, and then Peter Marciano, his brother, was jumping into it. And
Larry got dirty.
Beach, you can't say I believe that Larry said Marciano can't hold my jock strap, right? And he probably really felt that way. I'm not saying that it was disingenuous. I'm just saying that when you say that in front of a lot of people, right? There's no way you do that and you're not the heel. You the heel if you saying that.
What he said, Mike Tyson gonna be a dead SOB. The best one he did though. Just before he fought David Bay, And they asked him, so what are you about your opponent, David? But who, the half breed? I said, fuck, you know, it's a bit much, bro. Like, he didn't give a shit.
Larry doesn't pull his punches.
Call him a half breed, man. I said,
Look, when you drop kick somebody off of a car, you're a heel.
Yeah, I mean, but really though, like there's certain
Hell yeah.
like Ricardo Mayorga. Ricardo Mayorga is not just talking shit because he wants to talk shit. That's what like yo, you a heel, bro. Like you not just you playing the bad guy. Like remember that whole shit with Shane for their rematch.
About Larry, I think he actually meant it. Like
he probably did, but that whole shit with Shane and their rematch where he fake smacked the girl on the ass, that shit was staged, bro. Like he's playing the heel. Like that shit not real.
They're on the WWE. When it's fake, for me, that's when it's a heel. When that's just.
I won't fight Mayorga. I wouldn't fight Mayorga because I'd want to kill him. I know if he was doing some of the stuff, I'll be looking to murder.
You don't.
You're being way too personal, man.
Yeah, I mean,
out of pocket, man.
Bro. Even before a punch thrown in the ring, he's too much.
But look, Mayorga, if you a lip for lack of a better word, if you a lip, if you the shit talker, the antagonist, that archetype, that's the heel. That's the heel. Like if you up there talking your shit, yeah, you a heel, bro. That's what you playing. But don't try to make it seem like, oh, well, you're being pressured into doing that. Nah, it's a lot of fighters that didn't do that. Michael Spinks didn't do that. Michael Spinks wasn't.
But if you look at Floyd's career, though, like you had Bob saying stuff like he couldn't promote him. I didn't know what to do with him because he's from the hip hop generation. In other words, you can't promote a black fighter. And then Floyd bought his way out of the contract. And then he was thinking, well, he tried to do all what you're saying, be a decent dude, talk kind of, moderately and not say anything too exaggerated. But then he realized, yo, this works. This sells pay-per-views.
Look, I'm not knocking him. All I'm saying is this perception that, oh, you got to do that. No, because while you going through that with Bob, it's other fighters that made their money that didn't do what you did. Now, you ended up making more money than them, and that's cool. But it's this illusion that, that I'm being pressured into no, you're not, dog. No, you're not, all right? Mike was already more electrifying than everybody as Kid Dynamite before he became the baddest man on the planet. And he was just being an athlete, talking his shit. He wasn't not even talking shit. Not even talking shit.
No, Julius, because here in the UK, we had a program on TV called Good Morning Britain that didn't do anything about boxing. They'd be showing all of Mike Tyson's knockouts in the morning because it was so exciting. And he's come up, on the way up.
Because, bro, it was like, dog, like the whole country loved this man at that time. That's before the Robin Gibbons, before the jail shit, before any of the crazy shit. The country already loved the dude. And you know what? He was not playing a heel. Holyfield.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, right? He was always a heel, right?
You think so?
Now, let me tell you something. Jim Jacobs and Cuss had to pay out a fortune to keep certain people quiet because Mike was just a loose cannon from when he was a kid. And they had to pay a fortune. Tyrell Biggs had to be silenced. Tyrell Biggs was saying, this was way before any rape case or anything. I said, if I was to tell you that Mike Tyson got a problem with women and this and that, you wouldn't believe me. He said it way before any AIDS.
I'll tell you what, Beats. He was a loose cannon.
But that's the difference between doing it to sell, i.e. being a heel and it being fake, yeah, and actually being that bad man, which Mike probably is a little bit. As an example, the reverse side, I've seen interviews talking about George when he was on his comeback and he's supposed to be this nice, cuddly guy. And it's like there'd be days where you wouldn't want to be near George because if you pissed him off, you don't want to piss off George Foreman around you at all. And that's when he was pretending to be a nice guy or putting that persona out there.
All right. Let's say this. Let's use contemporary fighters. Derek Chisora is a heel. He's a heel. He's a heel. Like the shit about I don't want to come out last, throwing the table, punching, the shit with David Hayes, smacking Klitschko in the face. That's heel shit. That is heel shit. Now, Dillian Dillion's white.
Dillian is a heel. Dillion's a heel.
In a way.
Dillion's a heel.
No,
No,
but
wait a minute.
agitator.
Think about it.
Just an agitator.
Who's a bigger heel? Derek or Dillian? Easily Derek. Come on, B. It's easily Derek.
Derek.
I don't know, man. I never forget.
The thing is, Beats, with Dillian, he's probably real with Dillian, whereas Derek's got a level of intention behind what he's doing. Whereas Dillian, I think that Dillian's just an honest person. Whereas Derek,
I didn't see Dillian.
When Derek keeps the guy on his lips, he ain't putting it on. He's a freak and a weirdo and a nutter.
Derek, yeah, I think there's an element of that. I think there is an element of that, but you think he never does it? Like, there's a little bit in there thinking if I go a bit crazy.
No. He bit the guy in the chest, battling, and he said, I was getting bored in the fight. That's what he said. Getting bored. Listen, Derek.
Okay, I'm giving it. You win that one, Beats. I'm not arguing anymore.
The bit disturbed.
Chisora is a weird dude, though. Like, fucking weird dude, man. He said, "I'm gonna go through him. Who's the donkey?"
With Dillian, yeah, but in that point, though, Julius, they're probably not the best examples then, because to me, a heel is somebody that is faking it to sell their fight, whereas Dillian is real. That's who he is.
No. All right, let me break this down. I don't actually view Dillian as being a heel per se. He's gonna say what he's gonna say. Might be good, might be bad, but he's not putting on. Derek is putting on. Broner is putting on. Floyd was putting on. Ricardo was putting on. You putting on, bro. You popping shit. You putting on, bro. That's what you doing. So if you putting on, you a heel, bro. Fury, you putting on, bro. You a heel. You talk like if you
that's the best example out of all of them. Tyson Fury is 100% heel. It's all fake.
You're a fucking heel, bro. Like, if you got to do all that motherfucking, all right, you a heel, bro. That's what you are. Dillian might say something bad about you, but he might not. He didn't say shit about Povetkin. He didn't say shit about Hellenius. He didn't say shit about Oscar Rivas. He's like, it's a lot of guys that he didn't say shit about him aside from I'ma fuck him up. This ain't really not a heel. If you put him in a place where he going like, don't ask him about Wilder, don't ask him about AJ. He was the heel in that fight.
No, but with AJ, when AJ lost, he actually showed support. I think he just wants to fight him. I don't think it's quite the animosity he's got for Wilder.
No, it's not. I don't think it is what it was anymore. I don't think. I think that low key.
I think if you fight Dillian, he respects you. If you don't want to fight him, then that's when you really got no respect.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think right now Dillian actually has more spite and more animosity for Wilder than he does for AJ. That's kind of how it looks, how it's become. But he's really not. He's not an according to Hoyle heel. Like he's not. Nah. Derek, yeah, he's like that all the fucking time, bro. He can't have a fight without some dumb shit happening. With just some shit. It's always some shit. Bro, you here to fight Joseph?
Didn't you put them copy the suits that Povetkin's team was wearing?
Yeah, but that's
not that bad, bro. That's not that bad.
He's not even talking shit, man. He's just taking the mic. Did you enjoy it though? I did.
It's funny.
Fucking Derek is in there with a guy who has the personality of a warm bus seat, and he starts a scandal over who comes out first, even though there's a coin toss. Bro, you a heel. You a heel. Like, you really gonna raise a stink over that? You really gonna leave over that? Come on, dog. Like, cut that shit out. But he did that. He wanted to be the which I understood because he was right though that in that card. The Chisora fight was the bigger fight than the Prograis fight. Like it was like nobody wants to see the little guys. He's not lying. Like, well, yeah, they are here for these heavyweights.
Josh Taylor picks a fight and argument with all his opponents.
Yeah, Taylor's a heel though. Taylor is a heel.
Yeah, he is.
Taylor's not a baby face.
Now, can I say something? A lot of Capricorns is heels, bro. Derek's a Capricorn. Ali was a Capricorn. Josh is a Capricorn. Usyk, if anybody could understand his fucking ass, he'd probably be a heel, but nobody knows what the fuck he's
He
saying.
is a heel. He's always trying to troll people on social media.
Eddie, I want more
He has
money.
that
Like, he's
look.
a heel, bro. Like you were here, you doing shit like that, you were heel. This is the Capricorn way to get
I
into
don't
these
know if
things.
it's a Capricorn thing, but Usyk is a heel.
I mean, I kind of see where it is, but George is the exception to the rule. Smoking Joe didn't talk a lot of shit. Like he was like, if you watch a lot of the interviews, he's a level dude most of the time.
Nah, Joe didn't talk shit.
Joe didn't.
Joe's not a heel. He never forgave Ali for what he said because he didn't understand it was said in the fight.
He was a hero to the working class of America. When I mean working class, I mean like white hard hat conservatives. But to Black America, you know, Ali, was their king. You know, he was their hero.
I saw an interview with Joe after the Foreman fight, and he was lucid. He was clear. Wasn't no shit talking. It was just like a regular. Oh yeah, I got knocked out, man. That dude is strong. It was like that. Like it just wasn't no shit. So it's like Joe was no heel, which is really something for a Capricorn that didn't come out. But his flamboyant side, because he did have one. Remember, Joe had a band that he used to sing songs, bro.
Yeah.
He had a band like all Capricorns got a flamboyant side. Like Joe's, he wanted to do music. George's, he was a salesman. He didn't know that in his prime, but that's what he became.
Well, he also completely changed himself up, like completely.
It's just this shit with Floyd and contemporary fighters that it's an imaginary standard that doesn't exist. That you don't gotta be a heel. The problem is your marketing team. You know what? They just don't know what to do with you. Your management, they don't know how to sell you. That's what the fuck that is. But it's not pressure to fit into a mold because other fighters have made a lot of fucking money not fitting into that mold. They did something else. Maybe they had the foresight to do something else, but they did.
The whole reason that Ali was taking the bus outside Sonny Liston's house and causing all the ruckus was he was trying to sell the fight by being obnoxious. He was trying to make money. So I don't understand why they're still struggling to understand what Floyd did. It's like it's been out there for a long time.
Because they're turning it into there are those out there, and I've seen this over the years in the Facebook boxing groups. To a lesser extent, I see it today on Twitter. And to some extent, I've seen it on YouTube before, though I don't hear a lot about it now. That like, there's an expectation. They're like, oh, you being pressured no, you're not being pressured into being that way. You want to be that way because maybe it comes naturally to you. Maybe you have a knack for it. But don't try to make it seem like, it ain't the only way. It's not the only way. It ain't. I'm sorry, but no, it's not. It's not.
All you need to do is bring up Sugar Ray. Because he was groomed as the golden boy.
He was the golden boy before Golden Boy Promotions, man.
Yeah.
He was the golden boy before Golden Boy Promotions. None of that extra shit. Pizza commercials, Sprite commercials, all right? Captain hats.
Wasn't he always his own promoter? Didn't he never have a promoter as well? Because he could.
I don't think he did. I don't remember him having a promoter.
Beats still there. Beats will know that.
Beats is there.
What's that, bro?
Who are you guys talking about?
Did Leonard actually have a promoter, or was he famous enough to just promote himself from day dot?
He had a lawyer. He had Mike Trainer. They just hired promoters. And then he never had a contract with Bob Arum. They just worked on a fight-to-fight basis.
Because he didn't need to.
Okay.
Never had a promoter. Basically, his career started there was some businessmen. They put some seed money together and to start him off. But when he got the contract with ABC, he paid them off first fight. They didn't even make a profit, and they just used to hire these no-name promoters and do shows. I mean,
it was kind of like the relationship. I'm not gonna say it's exactly, but it's kind of like what was going on with Wilder and Lou, to where he's not signed to Lou, but Lou is doing the show. Like as far as promoting the show and putting it together,
but minus the Heyman.
Minus the Heyman.
Ray kept all his dough, bro. Like the deal that the lawyer put together, Ray kept a big percentage of his money compared to other fighters. Massive percentage.
And how many fighters before Ray were actually able to outshine the heavyweights? Was it just Robinson? And I'm not sure Robinson really did it. Like,
I don't think Robinson was outshining the heavyweight. So
no, I don't think so. But I think he was the first to actually outdo the heavyweights, wasn't he?
Yeah, you'd have to say it was Ray. Yeah, I'd say it was Leonard.
Special fucking fighter, man. But it's this feel sorry for me shit that gets on my nerves, man. Like it really like dog. Like Floyd made a ton of money. Why do you want me to feel sorry for him? He made a ridiculous amount of money. If people hate him, then he did his job. You know what I mean? Like because that's what he was out. He wanted to ruffle feathers. He wanted to aggravate people, antagonize people to sell fights. So he did that. I think he did it so well that people can't look at his career the way that it was. They're like, yo, it was a fucking great career, dog. I'm not saying I don't believe that TBE shit. That's to me is tantamount to a sales pitch. But to sit here,
he's not the best seller.
Yeah, like that's not real, bro. That's not real. All right, like nah. But the man's career, yeah, it was fucking good. Like, what the fuck are he talking about? Because I was just arguing with a dude earlier today. Talking about, oh, Canelo was get the fuck out of here with that Canelo was green shit. I acknowledge that Canelo is now better than he was. That much I agree. But to tell me that he was green,
he's also 168 pounds now. So I mean, the whole.
But still, we can acknowledge that he probably is a more skilled fighter now. Not probably, he is a more skilled fighter now. He is. But that doesn't diminish. That doesn't diminish that he was a good fighter when Floyd fought him. Yes, he was.
How do we know that? How do we know that he's more skilled? How do we know that?
I would say it's because he came up against opponents. For me, he came up against an opponent that was he ended up in a situation that you didn't see him in up until that point. That was the second Golovkin fight. He ended up against an opponent that was a naturally bigger opponent, that was a stronger opponent, that gave him a lot of problems. And he made the adjustments. He decided to crowd Golovkin so he wouldn't get as much leverage on his punches because he knows if Golovkin's on.
Golovkin winning the first fight, though. I know you had Golovkin winning the first fight.
Yes. But what's the difference between the first Golovkin fight and the second one? He forced Golovkin to fight on the back foot in the second one, and he couldn't punch as hard in the second fight. If you letting Golovkin come after you and he's on his front foot, he's generating all that power stepping into his jab. In the second fight, you didn't do that. You brought the fight to him. Different strategy for that second fight. And I'm like, you know what?
It was after. Let me acknowledge this. And it was after all that shit, Abel Sanchez was saying about Canelo was running. Oh, we got Golovkin here who does real Mexican style, which is just another fucking sales pitch. That whole thing,
I'll say what sold me that Canelo Alvarez is now a better fighter than he was before is the second Golovkin fight and the Jacobs fight. He did better against Jacobs than Golovkin did. Way better. Well, that fight wasn't hard to score. So I'll acknowledge that Canelo is probably a better fighter now than he was before, but that doesn't mean he was a piece of trash when Floyd fought him. The dude was a professional boxer for like 7 or 8 years. He had 41 fights in the world title. He just beat Austin Trout. They talking about him like he still had a diaper.
Different fighters peak at different times. Was Floyd at his 100% best when he fought Canelo?
Nope. He's 36 years old, I believe.
So, like, what? It's just a ridiculous conversation that people want to take away from Floyd. It's stupid.
Well, I go back to the point that I made before. Let's say Lomachenko would have got to have the Davis fight, right? Do you think Lomachenko's fans would have been like, "Oh, well, Davis is green"? No, they wouldn't have said that. He's 22. He green. They wouldn't have said that. If Loma would have beat Lopez, you think they would have said, "Oh, he's 23. He's green"? They wouldn't have said that. So stop depriving Floyd of the credit that you would have easily gave to Vasyl Lomachenko, because if Loma would have beat both of those guys, you wouldn't have been talking that, "Oh, he's green shit." You wouldn't have said that.
Let's be honest about it. Beating a hungry young fighter who's good at 36 is an achievement in itself.
Of course it is, but not when you're Floyd. When you're Floyd, oh, he was green. He had fucking 41 fights. Professional for 7 years, 8 years, something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. He had a belt.
Had about 4 or 5 world title fights when he fought Floyd.
His career started in 2005.
And it cuts both ways. If people want to say Canelo wasn't at his best, neither was Floyd. So what are they talking about?
Well, that's why I always say that the way I look at that fight is Canelo was not the best version of himself. True. Neither was Floyd. So it's an even contest. Why are we complaining? It was even. Floyd wasn't in his prime anymore at 36, and Canelo had not yet hit his prime at 22 or 23. So just take it for what it is and stop complaining.
Bottom line is
people were saying like after that that dog fight he had with Cotto, like, yo, he's slowing down. People, I don't know how he's gonna do it 154. Now, granted, Canelo did wanted to come down and weight, because I believe it was a catch weight, right? And
hold on, Virtuoso.
It.
Hold on, Virtuoso. Deontay Wilder is not green after 40 fights. He's just not that good. That's the difference. He's just not that good. If you have 40 fights and you look green, you're not green, bro. You're just not that good. You get green after 40 fights? Nah, dog, you just not that good, bro. Nah, how you gonna be green?
He had a long ass, prospect career.
How you gonna be green after 7 years and 40 fights? You can't be green. That's not green, bro. You just not that good. And didn't Lou DiBella do an interview recently talking about how Wilder? There's something that Lou DiBella said very recently that actually addresses that there was things that Wilder didn't want to do, and we already heard about it from Mark Breland months ago, that there was certain drills and certain shit that he just didn't want to do it. So to me, that's a work ethic issue, if anything. That's just being a bad student. It ain't even that you're green, you're just a bad student.
He's actually boasted about his lack of training and said that he's special because he didn't have to do all of that to stay in shape.
I compare
isn't the same as being in shape. Just because you look aesthetically good doesn't mean say you've got the engine, you've got the other skills that you need to win the fight.
Right. Deontay Wilder to me reminds me of like a super senior. Those kids in high school that kind of overstayed in one grade.
Yeah, that they in the 12th grade and they got like a full-grown beard and shit.
Exactly, like that's what it is with Deontay in the 40 fights. Fighting, just journeymen.
Green is inexperienced psychedelic. Green means inexperienced. When you say that someone is green, you're highlighting how they are not experienced at a certain level yet. Now, if you've been around for 7 years and you had 40 fights, bro, that's not that you're green. It's that you're not that good.
I think there could be a point there, because how many top 10 fighters has he fought? From that point of view.
The bottom line is, right? You can say green or whatever. They fought when they needed to fight. It was probably the highest grossing pay-per-view at the time. The TV networks and the expert all felt well and good enough to invest confidence in Canelo to take the fight. We knew what Floyd could do. You can't take nothing from Floyd, just like you can't take nothing from what Canelo's doing now, apart from the beef or whatever. But it is what it is. Floyd fought him when he needed to fight him. And that's that.
I guess they wanted Floyd to wait till he was 40 to fight Canelo, so it'll be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. Just wait for him to get a little older. They didn't want to wait for Davis to get a little older. And bear in mind, I never made excuses for Davis. I never will. When you a champion, the fucking training wheels come off. Wilfredo Benitez, wasn't he like 17 years old when he won a title? All right. Yep. So stop with this coddling shit. If you old enough to fight for titles, you're old enough to defend them, you're old enough to unify them. And if you're not, then stay away from them. Because that's what's going to happen. It's a target on your back.
I feel like they're trying to make Tank Davis like stay at 23 for like as long as Lomachenko stays in the game. Trying to justify why he can't fight Loma.
Tank Davis,
oh, he's too
Gary
young.
Coleman. Gary Coleman of boxing.
Yeah, like after 4 years, like, yo, damn, you still ain't getting any old, man. Damn,
Bro,
They
that
haven't
dude is
grown.
25 going on 26. They still talk about him like he ate like, man, Lee Tank, he's a young, yo, he's 26, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. He's a
Yeah,
big grown man. You know what I mean?
what the
26.
fuck?
30 is
That dude,
just around the corner. He was born in '94.
like, yo, the fuck? Like, they talk about that dude like Leonard Ellaby be wiping his ass and giving him a
Yeah,
bottle. Like, that dude is not a child, bro. You know how
exactly.
much shit motherfuckers do by age 26? You know how much shit? Like, I don't understand, but that's once again, that's this generation. Because this generation, to me, is fucking weird.
Fuck boy generation.
Fucking Ryan Garcia and his asthma attacks. Having anxiety. You know why you got anxiety? Because you scared Javier gonna fuck you up. That's that anxiety you
Well,
have.
But man, by the
and all
time
these dick in the booty hole, piece of shit fanboys, justifying that.
Salvador Sanchez was about 23 when he died, man. And like he hit for everyone. Nelson, Gomez, you know what I mean? Laporte.
How
And
old was Edwin Valero when he died? How old was he? Motherfucker was a nut.
He was
Right?
like 28.
he didn't have the same accomplishments. Like he was good though. He was good.
Yeah.
Business just blown my one out of the water. I was gonna say Joe was 23 when he won the title, but you're talking about people dying at 23 and fighting everybody.
It's a lot of stupid shit that it's like, yo, you want me to think he's the shit, but you want me to think he's too much of a baby for certain fights, but you still want me to think it's like it can't be both, dog. He can't be the shit, but he's too much of a baby for certain fucking fights. His own fucking promoter's career wasn't being handled the way his career is being handled.
I don't know why you take much notice of anything they say about Tank these days, Julie.
Because they bring the shit to me, John. Otherwise, I wouldn't see it. The only reason I know this shit is because these are some of the idiotic comments I've had to read the last 4 fucking years. That's the only reason I know. I don't go looking for that stupid shit.
I'm reading your comments. I'll give you that credit because I don't take any notice of Tank's career because he's not really a competitive boxer anymore. He's just messing about.
Wouldn't it
It's
just
like
be
when
the
people get
funniest?
upset about Floyd's pay-per-view against Logan Paul? It's like Floyd's retired. He's not a boxer anymore. Why are you getting upset about it?
Well, see, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. Floyd doing a million pay-per-view buys shows me, right, that look, it's not this and that. It's not this and that. What it is that you're not a fucking star. Errol, you're not a star. Wilder, you're not a star. Charlo Brothers, you're not a star. Andy Ruiz, you got a lot of fucking nerve. Pay-per-view for Chris Arreola, you got a lot of fucking nerve is what you got. That's what you got. Y'all not stars. Because if Floyd, wait a minute, if Floyd could come in here for what is not a fight, it's not a fight. And he could still do better than y'all. And Dana White and his underpaid fighters, they could still put up a million. Yo, you know what? It's not this and that. It's that, yo, y'all not stars, bro.
Look,
y'all not.
Floyd could get out of bed, right, and pull out fucking a million pay-per-view buys, right? Just eating crackers. And
bro,
these
Floyd
guys,
fight traffic
because
a million pay-per-view buys.
exactly, because this guy is just making money off of his name. Why is his name big? Because of the things he accomplished. And they're not, and these fighters today are not following that logic.
I don't know. Let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something. You saying Fortuna not that good. I understand that because Fortuna is not a guy that I think will ever be in that pound for pound conversation. I feel you. But when Luke Campbell could drop you because you leaving your chin out there in the air, Fortuna could give you some real fucking problems. He can. He can give you some real fucking problems. So I'm not sold that would have been easy peasy. I'm not sold on that.
Man,
Let's say his anxiety was real. I think that, I was thinking, maybe that knockdown from Luke Campbell, maybe it was an epiphany for him. Like, yo, maybe I can't cut it in this fight,
Fuck around.
Business,
It's made him start doubting himself, that knockdown. That's what I believe. The knockdown made him start doubting himself.
I mean, Luke is a good boxer. I always give him that. They're like, you're not just gonna beat Luke. You got to be a certain level to beat Luke. You got to have certain shit to beat Luke. Because I don't see certain guys beating this dude, right? But Luke is not a big puncher, right? He's not one of those. He's not in that he's a banger at 135 conversation. So for him
what
to
he also most definitely is a finisher. Because if he was a finisher, he probably would have won.
he would have finished fucking Ryan if he was a finisher. He would have fucking finished him.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But he fucking dropped. But he sure enough dropped you though. That's
I
gonna make
remember
you.
people were arguing with me saying that Ryan wasn't hurt. And then Ryan came out and said it himself. Yeah, I was buzzed for a little while. Of course he was hurt.
Bro,
Yo, dog.
got
When I
up.
said, look. When I said Linares dropped Loma with the shot, right? Immediately, the Ukrainian committee came out. Well, he wasn't hurt. I don't know what the fuck he was, and neither do you. You wasn't in his body. What I know is Linares has a great right hand, and it don't surprise me that he could hurt Devin with it because he dropped Loma with it. He dropped Luke with it. So stop splitting hairs. Stop splitting hairs for your fucking narrative. Yeah. Oh, it got to be the end of the world that one of the best right hands in this whole division, been one of the best right hands in this whole division for years. He hurt Devin. Did Devin go down? Nah, right now he dealt with it, right? You don't want to look at it. You don't want to say that. Oh, well, he got hurt. He got hurt. But you was the same one crying when people was pointing out that Loma got dropped. Well, so what? Well, it's like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Dropped. Even getting knocked out the boxer is not the worst thing. As long as you survive and you ain't in a wheelchair, it can happen. The point, the difference, what Brian's not figuring out, right, is Devin got hurt and he said he didn't get hurt. No, he got hurt. But he's ready to fight on. Are you ready to fight on, Ryan?
Like, look. Crawford's my guy. Crawford's my guy. Everybody knows that. When Egas dropped him, you're not going to see me doing no whole shit. That wasn't a knockdown. No, you got knocked down, bro. I saw your glove first. You got knocked down, bro. Take it for what it is.
It's like this is the toxic side of being a fanboy. It's like, yo, you don't give credit to the fighter who dropped your guy, man. It's like, dude, this is what happens.
Wait, when did we enter the era of boxing where boxers were supposed to never be hurt? I don't understand what it's about. It's like people.
It's PR. It's public relations.
It's petty shit, John. It's always been. It's petty. Like, look. It's petty girl shit because they just want a reason to be able to talk shit for every 6 months between fights. Like, oh, well, he got knocked down. Well, I'm like, look, man, shut the fuck up.
If you've got hurt and you found a way to win, that's more impressive.
That's how I took it. Then I'm like, look, Devin was hurt. Like, his legs didn't look right. He didn't look right. He wobbled to the corner, but he survived for 2 rounds. He survived.
People were critical. I'm sorry.
When Lennox beat Frank Bruno had Lennox in trouble. I think was it a 5th round. And Lennox knew what to do. He held on and he got out of the round. And then he knocks out Frank because Frank didn't know what to do when he got hurt. That's the difference of winning. It's not that you don't get hurt. It's knowing what to do when you do get hurt.
To me, look. It's so much shit in boxing, right? That I'm like, I'm just going to talk to like probably 7 people from now on. Beats, John, Mark, Virtuoso, Troy, Lady Chan, and that's probably going to be it. And Kurt, when Kurt pop up. Because it's too much dumb shit in boxing. Manny Pacquiao got knocked out 2 times when he had less than 20 fights. But you want me to lose my mind that Devin got hurt by a good right hand. You're a fucking moron.
Frank Bruno landed that right hand, overhand right on Lennox. And Lennox was hurt. Bro. But he survived it.
He was holding, wasn't he? But he knew how to hold. And that's good. That's a good thing.
Well, look, Terry Harper. I know y'all not as big on her as I am, but Tasha hit her with a hard shot. Terry didn't panic. Dive into that clinch. Hold the fuck on. That's good survival instincts. That's what that is. You can look at it as positive, or you cannot look at it as a positive. I see, look, guys lose fights early sometimes. Henry Armstrong lost like 3 of his first 5 fucking fights. Him too. He lost the second fight as a pro fighter. Manny Pacquiao, he got knocked out 2 motherfucking times before he had 20 fights. And you want me to sit here and lose my mind? Oh, Devin got hurt by a right hand? Oh, my God. Let me call Commissioner Gordon. He got hurt.
Mike won every round, right? In the last round, Smith landed that overhand right. And Mike even said, yeah, I was hurt. It hurt me. He even said it himself.
So
he rolled it out. A prime Mike Tyson. Yeah. He rolled it out and won the fight.
It's a lot of goofy shit.
It's boxing to me because it takes more of a man to fight on when he's hurt than when it's easy.
Of course it does. Listen, when you're kicking 2 bells of crap out of somebody, it's easy. But when someone's throwing some ish back at you, and that's when you learn about who you are. Everyone knows this. Anyone who knows anything about boxing.
You know, Beast, but these people we're talking about, they don't understand that.
Gaddy was hurt against Ward how many times? And that the first fight is the best one, but Gaddy was hurt. Ward was hurt. What makes it special? That they kept fucking fighting.
Exactly.
Yo, I remember when me and Beast was doing play-by-play while you were snoring, when Devin was hurt, right? And they gave a lot of shit to Devin because he got hit and he started grabbing. When in fact I got on Linares' case, for like not putting up the pressure. Now shout out to Punch because he actually had Teofimo on like after that that fight, and he showed him like how he could beat somebody who's trying to grab, and that's something that you gotta get in the face of the aggressor, for not taking the opportunity. Devin had to do what he had to do as a professional, and that's to hold on. Well, you cannot fight when you're a wobbly leg.
The real moral of the story is if Devin listened to these Facebook trainers and these Twitter trainers, fuck that, throw. You know what happens?
Exactly.
Devin gets knocked out and they talk shit in the morning. That's what happens.
Yeah, it's lose-lose situation.
It's like, you can't. That's why I'm like, them guys, shut the fuck up. Because that dude managed to keep his little belt that you don't give a fuck about and his little O that you don't give a fuck about by holding. And sometimes that's what the fuck you got to do. For the most part, it was a fight that he was controlling and he was winning. You go and erase all that from the history books and relegate the fight to simply 2 rounds because that suits your narrative.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, he actually won the 11th, in my opinion. He lost the 12th. He got staggered. He got hurt late in the 10th. I thought he won the 11th. What do you mean? He lost the 12th for definite. He was hurt.
Let me bring up another. Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead. Well, I'm gonna say this. It's guys that make me mad, right? Joseph Parkers. They make like, all right. See, when you gonna go out there and do shit like that, all right, fuck you. And then when you gonna get a gift, all right, fuck you again, because you didn't do shit. You didn't do fucking shit. He's doing all the fucking work. You're not doing shit, all right? Your Parkers, your Sanat Gashis, your Malik Scotches. You want to fight now? All right, fuck you. I don't want to watch that shit. That's that. But sir, that's the extent of me getting aggravated. Like, don't fucking go out there and fight negative, bro. All right? You go out. You ain't got to fucking get hit, but do something. Parker didn't do shit to win that fight. They gave him the fucking fight. That aggravates me. Like
that's separate. That was straight daylight robbery. So,
didn't win that fucking fight.
Like if you've been knocked down in 2 different rounds, don't you need to go on and win the 8 rounds after that?
To my knowledge. So
I want to know which one of those rounds you won.
Listen, there's no argument. There's no look. Ring generalship is not you getting put on the ropes. You understand? You're not like setting up a trap for Derek by backing up and giving up all that ground. He's literally putting you and pushing you and muscling you into those ropes.
Also, if you're going to set up a trap, haven't you got to spring it as well? If you're going to set a trap up, shouldn't there be an outcome where you actually hurt your opponent because you've suckered him into it?
I mean, like I said, I don't understand how you get pushed into the ropes, you get outlanded, you get dropped 2 times. He got dropped 2 times, right?
Yes.
He started off the fight getting dropped, and he got dropped again. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? And that had to be some Adam Smith, fuck you, Eddie, and fuck you, Derek. That's how I took it. Fuck you, Derek. We gonna fuck this shit up for you real good. We gonna put another.
Some people haven't followed the trends through boxing. So they're saying in here, if Haney half hugged Linares half to death, imagine Loma or Lopez. That doesn't make any sense. You know, it doesn't make any sense what you're saying there. You know, like if you look at Muhammad Ali, yeah, right? He lost his first two fights were a loss to Frazier and then he lost to Norton. Look what Foreman done to Norton and Frazier. They didn't last 4 rounds. Both of them couldn't last 4 rounds combined. And then Ali destroyed Foreman. What you're saying? It's never made any sense.
Right now you know my pain. Well, you've always known my pain. That's like, yo, certain shit, like, what, because Lopez fights like Linares? No, he don't fucking fight like Linares. Loma don't fight like Linares neither.
They're talking about Loma. Linares dropped fucking Loma. Didn't hurt him. He dropped him.
But
he dropped him. He was able to do what Lopez wouldn't do.
And if I say that, like, look, I'm not telling you Haney looked amazing, but it was a fight that he mostly won. That's one. He won most. It wasn't a hard, like, for the portion of it that I saw and ended up seeing afterwards on Sunday morning. It's not like the fight was hard to score. Wasn't a barn burner. Haney never got down. Your boy, Jesus, Ukrainian Jesus, he did get knocked down. But you don't know. Well, he wasn't hurt. He did hurt. Like, yo, get his dick out your mouth. His dick out your mouth. He wasn't hurt. No one hurt him. He wasn't hurt.
Get your Kleenex, bro. This is boxing, man. This is a hurt business. Suck it up.
He wasn't hurt. I suppose that wait, John. I suppose that Lomachenko got knocked down on purpose. It was all part of the plan. The Ukrainian plan.
It's that Ukrainian trap, Julius.
It was a trap.
It was that triangle trap.
Stupid ass shit. And I'm like, hey, look, man, I like fighters from all around the world. I really do. All the way from fucking Namibia to the Ukraine, right? But you fucking Eastern Euro cocksuckers, fucking tired of y'all. See a lot of consonants, and all of a sudden it's Jesus. If you see a couple of K's, a couple of Z's, and a couple of X's, you have to change your fucking pants. Cut the shit. Cut the shit.
This is what I'm saying. Like, you're allowed to like fighter.
What you're saying, it doesn't make no difference. I'm still right. Whether it's styles make fights, yeah. It doesn't matter if you're saying that Ali didn't destroy Foreman, he outsmarted him. That's the whole point. That's the whole. He couldn't outsmart Norton. He argued we lost all 3 fights.
The thing, Beats, is whether he outsmarted him or he won. He won, and he did something that nobody else at that point was able to do.
Right.
He took what George had to give. Nobody else was doing that.
My thing is this: they don't look at. It's kind of what happened with Golovkin and Jacobs, right? I bring up Golovkin and Jacobs because you can't accuse me of being biased if I bring this up. I scored the fight for Golovkin, right? Jacobs had very good moments, but not often enough. You see what I mean? So you get people that they look at those moments and they act like that was the whole. No, that wasn't the whole fight. Jacobs got put on his ass. He had a lot of fucking jabs.
One knockdown, only once.
Only one, not only one. But he got put on his ass. He had a lot of fucking jabs. He wasn't throwing more than Golovkin. He was keeping up with him, though, and doing a good job, which he did, which I thought he would do, right? Doing a good job. That don't mean you won the fight. So don't relegate the whole fight to just the moments in the fight that you like.
Maybe I was being biased against Golovkin, but I thought Golovkin. I genuinely thought Jacobs won.
Beats, I know you don't got a lot of time or a lot of patience for Gennady Golovkin. So I'm just... I know that's not your guy.
Fight, wasn't it? It was a close fight. I thought Golovkin was disappointing. I thought the knockdown was enough to edge it. But it wasn't a clear-cut win either way for me. You could score it both ways. Or a draw.
Well, let's put it another way. Let's put it another way, gentlemen. In a situation like that, where the fight is close enough, right, that you could have swung it either way, is it the end of the world if they swing it the champion's way?
Well, if it's that close, you can't really complain.
I
Whichever
don't.
way.
I
No,
don't.
you are. I'm not even sure Beats is, and he's
No, I'm not. It wasn't a robbery or nothing like that. It was close.
exactly.
You're like
So,
Parker
it's
Chisora. Parker Chisora. That's a rob. Like, bro, there's no way you sat and watched this shit and came to the conclusion, Parker, that's a robbery.
I was on your live, Julius, and then my brother put the TV volume up, and I heard the Sky commentary about 8 rounds in. I was like, they're getting ready to rob Derek.
Yeah.
They're preparing to rob Derek. From the way the commentators are talking about how close it is, and it's all about what you like. It's not about what you like. Parker wasn't doing anything.
He wasn't doing shit.
He wasn't.
He wasn't doing shit. You are not. It's different. Like when Canelo takes a couple of steps back, he takes a half step back. The beta got to come forward so he could throw an uppercut. That's a trap, all right? Sometimes he does that off the ropes. That's not what Parker was doing. You were literally getting pushed into those ropes. He was throwing more than you were. You got dropped 2 times.
Started looking all right was when Derek started to lose a bit of gas, but that was like past the 8th round. Like there were not enough rounds left to make up for the 2 knockdowns when Parker started, in my opinion, to get a bit more into the fight. But those rounds were still fairly close.
Look, the Usyk fight was close fight with Derek, right? Close fight because it's interpretation involved. But
he say, and didn't Andy Lee say that? What did he say? I can't remember what he said. So I'm not gonna.
Andy Lee said they felt they lost, bro.
Yeah.
He went up to Derek and congratulated him. So
he said that shit. That's why I'm like, yo, can we stop playing games? Let's stop playing games. This that Pacquiao shit. Freddie said, well, I thought we lost. So don't fucking sit here with me on this bullshit. All right?
Well, the Mayweather fight. Yeah, Freddie said we lost the Mayweather fight.
He said that. So I'm supposed to sit here and argue with some cocksucker when the man's on corner and saying, yo, I thought we lost.
There wasn't anybody that tried to say that Manny won that fight. I don't know what they were looking at. I had money on Floyd to knock Manny out.
They're looking at the points counted, the punches that he landed apparently. But the thing is, those punches are not impactful. It's they had like I remember. Look, from my understanding, a lot of people try to justify it with how money that he landed, that he outlanded, but when in fact like Conor McGregor outlanded Pacquiao. Like you don't just be like fooled by that Artorias boxing video. The judges are not looking for that.
It's like, okay, if you're gonna talk about punches landed, if you're gonna talk about punches landed, unless you're doing a round by round analysis of what punches landed and when, I don't want to hear about punches landed because fights are scored round by round. If you're not telling me he outlanded him in round 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then you're not telling me shit. So that's how you got to present it to me. The second thing is
the story of the fight for me. I thought Floyd was going to knock out Manny, and after
I didn't think that.
Round, I had money on it. I had about 9 or 10 round, and after the first round, I knew I'd lost my money because Manny didn't really look like he wanted to engage.
Manny, I felt like Manny didn't know how to. I felt like Manny didn't know how to engage.
Well, whatever it was, I knew that Manny wasn't going to push Floyd enough to engage for Floyd to have to knock him out. So Floyd was going to win on points. And I knew that after the first round, I knew I'd lost my money. Because Manny wasn't competitive. He just wasn't.
It's just scoring in boxing. It should not be so open to interpretation to where you can watch a man get placed. Like, if you getting pushed there, bro, that ain't ring general nothing. You're getting bullied. You're getting bum rushed. That's what that is. Now, if you doing the shit that Floyd do to where you circle into the ropes and you might be setting up a pull counter, like look at what Josh did to Jose. He backed into those ropes and he set up a pull counter to catch Jose on the chin. All right, that's a trap. All right, I dig it. That's a trap. Parker, you was trapped. You wasn't setting a trap. You was trapped.
The thing is, it's going to backfire on whoever thinks of gaining out of that robbery. Because who wants to watch Joseph Parker? No. Who's going to pay to watch that man fight.
I mean, if it's
Like
Parker Hrgovic, I'll watch it. Because I feel Hrgovic. I know, but that's real shit. If it's Parker Hrgovic, I'll watch it.
Yeah, well, that's true. But do you think Parker's going to get in there with Hrgovic?
Look, dog. It's only a few ways it could go for Parker because motherfuckers in the UK don't want to see you, right? Not unless you in there with somebody fun. They're gonna have to ship you back to New Zealand, and maybe you get the winner of Justice Hooney versus Paul Galen. Maybe you could fight him. But other than that, you're gonna have to fight somebody that got a pulse. You're gonna have to, bro, because Derek is a bigger draw than you are.
Give Derek a rematch. That's what you should do.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna do it, Beats.
They won't be doing that.
I don't think they're gonna do it.
They won't do that. Parker needs to retire. Like, the man has 0 dog. He has minus dog, which equates to pussy.
He has cat.
Yeah, pussy.
No, I didn't call him a pussy. I'm just saying he has cat. He has cat.
Look, I think it's from when he got.
It's not interesting to watch.
Okay, he just lost. There isn't anything there. He doesn't really want to fight. I don't know what he's doing. He's a rich man. When you just retire and be happy.
It's since the Takam fight, bro. It wasn't even the Ruiz fight. It was the
Takam fight was tight.
Because he looked nervous with Takam. I remember that. Yeah. That was before the Ruiz fight.
I think the problem was they built him up on real low level opposition. When you look at the people he was knocking out and how long it was taking him to knock them out, they were horrible fighters.
I mean, one of his you remember what was in his highlight reel, right? He beat Francis Bartha. I didn't even know.
Real low level people on there that Derek slept when he was in like community centers and stuff.
Yeah, like he was fucking guys up though.
Dillian slept him in like 3 rounds, and Joseph Parker's knocking him out in the 10th. These guys have never go that way.
Never been sold on Joe. I think Joe was not a bad fighter, but just never been sold.
Joe's not a bad fighter, bro, but he's like did you see the Tyler McCreary fight this weekend?
Tyler McCreary?
Yeah, he was fighting Tyler McCreary that fought Carl Frampton. That Carl Frampton beat him before the Jamel Herring fight. The kid went out there, right? And it's like Tyler's like Joseph in the sense that for Tyler's weight, he has the tools. He has the physique and the frame, and he's got it, but he don't have no sense of purpose. Like, you don't have no sense of direction. It's like, why are you even out here then? Why are you even out here, bro?
Dog syndrome. It's the lack of dog syndrome. They're just not fighters, and that's okay. They're not.
I agree. Like, I'm not knocking them. It's dangerous for you to be out there without a sense of purpose. Like, you have to have a sense of purpose. The other cat, he know what he want to do. He want to crowd you. He want to punch you in your stomach. He know what he want to do. You don't look like you know what you want to do to him. Parker, that's how Parker go out there. You don't know if he want to beat a guy or do a TikTok video with him.
This granite chin anymore, either. That used to be his big selling point. It never been put down
until Dillian. Yeah. But yo, comparatively, Derek did it better. He baptized the shit out of him, though. I was like,
that first time.
I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be a good fight. They starting off like this. This is gonna be a good fight.
If Derek had won that, I'd have happy memories about that fight.
Look, to me, I picked Derek to win that fight, right? On the premise that I don't trust Joseph anymore. In my heart, Derek won the fight, but I just didn't see the politics. Like, for God's sake, on UK soil, why would they get political for Parker? To do what? To fight who?
But do you think it had something to do with them knowing Matchroom was leaving and they're trying to start?
Yes, I firmly do. I firmly believe that. How else can you explain, Rob? Like, why would you even want to? Like, if it's close enough that you could swing at the Derek, you know it would be more beneficial for you to swing at the Derek because he'll sell tickets out here.
Yeah, but he's not going to sell them any more tickets, is he now?
I don't think so.
Yeah, selling anything else.
Well. Let's just ask a Brit. John, do you want to see Chisora versus Parker 2?
Yes.
You do.
Yeah, yeah, but I want it on the zone. I want it on the zone.
All right. That's a good point. That's a good point, John. That's a good. It won't be a pay-per-view. That's a good point. Beats, you want to see it, right?
Same as John. As long as it's on the zone, I ain't got it in my pocket.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like I seen that Scott. They climb into bed with Bob in his liver spots, but you can't substitute Matchroom with 4 a.m. fights, bro. Like you gonna need more content than that, bro. Motherfuckers don't want to have to get up early in the morning just to see a fight all the time, bro.
I'm sure they might just bring the cards down maybe an hour before Top Rank, though.
But the thing is, they haven't even got the one fight that Bob's got that's going to sell to the British audience, have they?
Yeah, because they started. Look. Peep this shit, right? Here in America, on Sunday morning, you kept hearing about how that was a boring fucking fight. That was the flagship maiden voyage fight for the deal. The Shakur Stevenson versus.
They started off on the wrong foot.
So at 4 a.m., you expecting these motherfucking Brits to get up and watch this shit?
But if there's going to be anything that anybody's going to get up and watch for, yeah, that Bob's got, that fight's on BT. Only fight Bob's got.
The shit with BT is over, bro.
No. Tyson Fury's fighting Wilder on BT.
Well, okay.
And that's the only fight Bob's got that's going to draw in any sort of
but like when I was looking for the Daniel Dubois fight last weekend on ESPN Plus, it wasn't there. I had to buy the fucking shit on Fight. So that tell me that whatever was going on, it ain't going on no more.
Wasn't that a pay-per-view?
It was like $13, $14 or some cheap shit like that.
Have to pay for that over here. I'm sure we paid for it.
Man, they're killing Shakur in the comment section. I've never been sold on Shakur, but you ain't do what he's doing and see how far he can go. We'll see.
Look, Daniel Dubois must see TV, and I don't give a shit. It's must see TV. My man Zanu. My man Shane Wiggins.
Frank needs to calm down with this world title shot nonsense. He needs to bring him along properly.
Well, he's a fucking dickhead. He's a dickhead. Like, he could beat Trevor Bryan, right? He could beat Trevor Bryan. It's after the Trevor Bryan fight that the problems start. It's after that. It's going to be people.
He needs to let Shane have some time with him and some actual learning fights.
It's going to be people that want to challenge him for the WBA baby bottle belt. And you don't need that. Like, you don't need that right now. You need to give him time with Shane. Nah, you want him to fight Trevor Bryan. He could beat Trevor Bryan. What about after that, though? Because you know, like, he ain't going to fight AJ with that baby belt, but it's going to be people that come after him. So you better be ready to vacate because that you going to have to.
I don't think the Trevor Bryan fight, Trevor can get in shape.
I heard your video, Beats. You giving Trevor you giving Trevor a lot more credit than me, man. I seen that Stavern fight. That was a real fight.
He was out of shape badly, though. He was really out of shape. Surely he can't come in worse shape than that again.
I think Daniel spark his ass out, man. Spark his ass out.
But irrespective of what happens, if Daniel goes in and sparks him like he did Bogdan Dino, Daniel's not benefiting from that.
He's not.
That isn't Daniel's problem at all.
He needs to fight a Geek Caballero. He needs to fight a good stick and move boxer. That's a Geek Caballero. Yeah, he don't hit that hard, but that dude, he got a good foot. Like, he can move. Fight that dude.
Because I'm not actually sure that Daniel's power is as it's been advertised because of who he's knocking out. All right, who's the best fighter he's knocked out?
Fucking, what's that guy that had the blonde hair?
Lottie.
It's not a party without Lottie.
You're proving my argument.
Not a fucking party
and then on top of that, how many fighters has Daniel fought where he's had a reach disadvantage? Because I think it's one, and I think his name's Joe Joyce.
Why don't y'all just leave my man alone? He's a young guy. Why y'all gotta be so hard on this young guy?
I like him.
I'm just playing. It's sink or swim, bro. But I do think it's sink or swim.
No, there's a middle ground. He's got a new trailer. Let's have him have some learning fights.
Who you want him to fight? I'm gonna ask Beats because Beats will throw him in there with the Sharks. Who you want him to fight, Beats?
I want to fight someone good because the way they built him up, You know what I mean? And like they're saying that he's better than AJ, all that fan base that time, and for the way Frank, I wanted to fight someone world class, man.
But who though? Like who's around that don't got nothing going on right now? They don't have nothing going on. Like who would you like? Would you like him to fight, say, the winner of a Jagba versus Frankie Sanchez?
It's Congolese kid beats.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Bring him in there if he's that good.
No. Who's the one that just lost to
Charles Martin? Give him Charles Martin. That's a good fight.
I like that. Yo,
yeah.
Low-key, I like that fight. That's a good fight.
Right,
that'd be very entertaining. The build up to it.
Beats is gonna get Daniel hurt based on his fan base.
Yeah, but that's a like I like that fight. Like,
I watch that fight.
I like that fight. That's a good fight.
What's the Congolese guy that trains out of Scotland that lost to Guzman? I can't remember.
Talking about Martin Bacol?
Yeah, that's a fight.
Martin Bacol, yeah.
Yeah, that's the sort of level that I think he needs to be fighting at.
They're not gonna make that fucking fight, bro. They're having trouble making fights for Martin Bacol at Matchroom.
No, they're not. But if you ask me like levels, that's what I'm saying.
You think he could beat Alen Babic?
Yes, Alen Babic is a cruiserweight who can't be bothered to make weight. He'd knock out Alen Babic. He's tailor-made for Daniel. I'm not even sure Babic punches that hard.
No.
Beats really doesn't like Daniel.
That's not matter liking him. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm pulling your leg, Beats.
I like it. I can see an overhand right hitting Daniel. I mean, if Babic can get inside. I mean,
I'm not sure Babic hits that hard.
Listen, Daniel got a lot of flaws.
Yeah, he's got loads.
We've only seen one fight that's exposed him. He's got a lot of flaws.
No, the Bogdan.
Shane McGuigan has his work.
Yes, he does. And that's why I'm not trying to match him strong. And I think the Bogdan-Dino fight showed us that Shane hasn't even improved any of those flaws.
Well, he hasn't had time. Remember, he was fucking Mark Tibbs. He was supposed to be Mark Tibbs,
didn't he? One fight with Lawrence, and all of a sudden Lawrence has got a jab.
Yeah,
all of a sudden,
wait, Be fair, John. He had a full camp.
Praying and asking for Lawrence to jab.
He had a full camp with Lawrence. He did not have that with Daniel. Daniel went from Mark Tibbs to fucking Shane McGuigan in like 2-3 weeks.
All right, I'll give you that one.
You got to be fair.
But to Beats his point, Daniel doesn't look any better yet.
Well, he's not gonna look no better after just one fight.
Why do you want to put him in?
Just give it time, you know.
That's why
last fight he wasn't really moving his head, man. And give it time with Shane McGuigan, you know.
Yeah.
The other shit is if I'm Daniel's father, remember what happened between the time he got with Mark and the time he left Mark, right? Fucking Billy got his eye crushed. If I'm seeing that and I'm Daniel's, get that motherfucker out of here. We don't want that motherfucker. Get Shane. That's what I'd have like. So yes, bro. That's what I'd have said. Like, nah, get this motherfucker out of here. Your fighter just got. We don't need that shit. We coming from that shit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Frank Warren, that's.
He knocked out Dillian. He said he wants to get everything. He's going out Dillian and AJ. Went to fight AJ. So why should I matchmake him? Yo, give him the dudes out there.
No, well, why not just chuck him in with Dillian because Frank's
get him alive. It's time for him to fight, bro. Time for Daniel to come prove it now. You know what I mean?
This is ruthless. But if he goes in there with Dillian will just murder him.
Don't talk the talk if you can't walk the walk. Phony niggas that outline the chalk.
Woo!
I dig it. But look. I'll be real. There's really no excuse for him not to fight because you talking the most shit to Dillian. Like you was before the joints fight.
Like that isn't going any sort of distance. Because I don't think he's got any advantages over Dillian on any level. I think Dillian's as big as him, he's as strong as him, and Dillian's might punch harder.
But Dillian is
like boxing, man. Danny don't even like boxing. That makes all the kids box. The dad put boxing gloves on all of them.
Well, you think Daniel doesn't want to be there, Pete?
Well, he might do now because he doesn't know anything else. You know what I mean? The dad put boxing gloves on all of them. Man.
What you're saying is true. It's 100% true.
Daniel Dubois versus David Price. That's all right.
Yo,
I don't know. Price is still cracked.
You know why it ended between him and Tibbs, yeah? You know why it ended between Daniel and Tibbs?
What happened?
Because basically, the old man was trying to get involved. He was getting involved too much.
Yeah. I heard that. You think he's gonna fall back now that he's with Shane, though?
He needs to. The
thing is, they've got a relationship because Shane trains his sister, the good one, doesn't he? So Shane already knows his dad already. So whether he's going to get involved or not, Shane obviously knows how to deal with that. Because it's not like it was new. He knows what he's getting into because Shane trains his sister.
I'll say this much. Reality is they ain't going to match him tough right away. They not. I mean, if they were, why the fuck would you be looking at Trevor Bryan, right? They're going to say Dillian's name. They're going to do that, but they're not trying to make that. And you know that. Like, even like that's saying that even if Daniel wanted it, right? He wanted it and Dillian wants it. Frank, you ain't got it to pay Dillian, bro. You don't have it.
The only way that's happening is if Eddie pays for it. That's the only way it's happening.
And you think that Frank is going to send Daniel over there? No.
Frank might need the money. Like, things are looking grim over there. Do you think Frank's making any money out of this Deontay?
Hey, he got Sonny Edwards. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
He got Sonny Edwards. The Argentine that just knocked out Ritson. He has him.
And he's going to make money from that.
Oh,
Frank must be pulling his hair out that Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury's not happening.
Man, they cut the scrotum off. Bob Arum low-key cut his balls off. You too good to me, dog. Developmental progression is valued. Kinks are looked upon as weaknesses and exploitation for memeable moments. Yes. It's abuse. It's bullying. Rather than understanding prospects is still learning. Hype, as it were, makes the promoters rush them into fights they shouldn't even. Yeah, I agree. 100%. Right. Because I say it all the time about Shakur. Shakur's an Olympian, and that's cool. But how many fights does he actually have that we expecting so much already? He's a child, bro. He looked like a child. He's a child.
You know, it was right after that. Hold on. It was right after that Herring knocked out Frampton that they just started interjecting him into the fight that was going to be possible between Herring and Valdez.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
The way they were just pushing that angle is like, okay, you see him in training camp and him, goofing off, like just roasting Herring and all that stuff, going the back and forth thing, But when I see him fight, it's like I'm not seeing that he's championship title fight ready.
Not yet. That's I agree 100% that I'm like, yo, look, he's not ready for the bullshit because it's going to be bullshit. It is going to be bullshit. Like, I'm not against him getting the fights that he says he wants. But if I'm looking at him, I do see a kid that is developing. I don't see a full-fledged world-class guy yet. Like, they was talking about the Jamel Herring fight, right? On Twitter. Yesterday, it was a cat talking about the shit. And I'm like, I'm not saying Jamel going to win. I don't know. But what I do know is you making it sound like it's mad easy when he just struggled to put away Nick Talia. He couldn't put him away. Jamel is a more well-schooled boxer than Nick Talia. He got more than just the 1-2. And he's a southpaw. And he's statuesque. He could fight a bit on the inside, and he could jab your head off on the outside. So I don't know why y'all acting like it's just so a foregone conclusion. Like, Shakur has not shown me that he's there yet. I'm not saying he's never going to get there.
Big challenges.
This time will come, but it's like let him grow his repertoire.
He's got Valdez and Herring, and here's the thing, man. Right? If they try and turn this kid into a banger, they're going to wreck him within a couple of years. His career will be wrecked. He'll be wrecked. He's got to be able to fight his natural fight, whatever that is. He probably doesn't even know what his style is yet. But he's no big puncher. You know what I mean? He doesn't look like he wants to fight very aggressively up in the trench. So, like he's not going to sell. And look, let's not pretend. Even if you say you appreciate defensive boxing, if you can't throw hands when you're young in your youth, you're almost doomed. You're almost doomed.
That's true.
Guys,
Yo, I
hold
didn't
on.
even
I wanted to ask you something. Hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but like I just wanted to ask you something. The last fight, right? Before this one with Nakatilia, did you see him like favoring his hand, like when he punched somebody? Could that be it? Like he's not like that thing like took off, his aggression in the last fight.
it's you know what it is. Look. I'm gonna tell you. Shakur is a counterpuncher. So's Lopez. They're both counterpunchers. Like they're guys that's working off with the other. Like Devin is not a counterpuncher. He needs a little bit more dog because he could create opportunities with his lead hand. Like he could like to just paw the guy's face to get him looking in another place and set something else up. Shakur, when he fight, it looked like you waiting for something. And because you waiting for something, the other dude is setting the tempo of the fight. So if the other dude is not doing a lot, you're not doing a lot. What he need to like develop is more with his lead hand. Like I ain't being funny. Yo, watch them Lomachenko fights. He do a lot with his lead hand so that you can figure out ways to get through a guy's guard and put punches there. So you at least breaking the guy down round after round.
Yeah.
You're not even doing that to where like, yeah, you put one downstairs, you put another two upstairs, then another two. Like you're not even doing that.
Like he might have the edge and speed wise, but like this one punch thing is like this pace allows your opponent to time you, if you stay in that tempo, because you might they're not taking that in competition and you're gonna be pressured to throw.
I'll say that.
That's not what you want.
That's the problem. Like when you fight someone who can throw 2-3 punch combinations, let's see how that defense holds up. You know what I mean?
You know what they need to do? They need to. If he not sparring Pedraza already behind the shit that Pedraza looked like $1 million fucking on Saturday, like $1 million. He would not. That fake Danny Garcia kid, Randy Garcia, he made that kid look stupid as shit. Hammer hands. He made him look, and it wasn't with his hands. It was with his feet. He wouldn't let Randy Garcia set his fucking feet. And you a power puncher. If you can't set your feet, you ain't gonna throw shit. Ain't gonna be nothing on it. Pedraza looked like put him in there with Pedraza to learn some shit.
Pedraza can fight. Like even if like Tank, I'm not saying that the power bailed him out, but Pedraza he had moments. He had moments where he was doing pretty well, but he didn't realize Tank hit that hard. I don't think nobody did. With the Lomachenko fight, kept Loma out for long periods. Loma won the fight clearly, but he kept him out for long periods with some intelligent boxing.
Pedraza does a lot of veteran. It's like Pedraza's not physically gifted. I'll say that he's not physically gifted. He's not the strongest puncher. He doesn't have the fastest hands or the fastest feet. But to me, he's like a Hector, right? And a kid like Shakur is like an Achilles. The reason Pedraza's good is because of application. He knows what to do. Like, all right, well, this motherfucker hit hard, so I ain't going to stand in front of him and let him set his feet. I'm going to move around him, and I'm going to pity pat him with shit so he don't ever really get to set his feet, and I distract him, keep him moving around. That's the type of little bullshit that'll make a world of difference for Shakur because you're not setting traps. You are literally waiting for something to happen, and that's why shit ain't happening. If the guy's not giving you no opportunities, create them with your lead hand. Decoy punches, pity pat punches, something.
Because that last performance, it just felt like it was just predicated on his opponent making mistakes. Just that.
It was a 1-2 fight. That's all it was. A 1-2 fight. He throws one, throws a two and misses, and then you throw one. Maybe the two lands, but maybe not. And it just went on like that.
Yeah, 1-2. 1 or 2 pace. Like,
it was a 1-2 fight. 1-2 and 1-2 and 2-1 and 1-2. Like, yo, what the fuck, bro? Like,
fight, man. Like, Shakur and Pedraza would be an excellent fight.
I think. Like, Pedraza's at 140 right now, right? So
he's at 140.
Yeah, he's at 140 right now, bro. That was a 140 fight this past weekend, and he's looking good. That's the other shit. Like. He's looking good. Like, he's looking all right. Like, it looked like if he positioned himself long enough, he could catch a belt when Josh moves up. He could catch one. And he need to pick up shit from a guy that has a lot of tricks. Because Pedraza got tricks. He got application. He got a lot of tricks. That's what Shakur, because you don't got no tricks, bro. You just waiting for these dudes. You waiting. Shit, low key. Javante, yo, you waiting. You don't throw a lot. You don't create opportunities. You wait for opportunities. And you hit hard enough that when you capitalize them, yeah, you do hurt the guy, but you don't create no opportunities. Leo was touching you all up before you knocked him out. Don't let somebody that hit hard touch you like
let's
that.
keep it real. Let's keep it real. He wasn't worried about Leo's punching power one bit.
Of course not. But I'm saying, you're not just going to be letting somebody hit you. Feel me? Now you could afford to get hit by Leo. It's not bothering you. I'm saying, imagine if you was getting touched like that by somebody who can punch. It's a different situation. And it's guys, yeah, they'll touch you like that and they could punch. That's why, to me, the Barrios fight is not a bad fight. And I say that all the time. It's not a bad fight. It just shouldn't be on pay-per-view. It's not a bad, because Barrios is a big kid. Real 140 pounder, like, yeah, he big kid for that weight. Yeah. If I'm curious, how you gonna react when he touch you? We gonna see.
Well, all I can say is I don't know if a lot of people were saying this is a very good fight for Tank. Some people said he was going to lose. Few people. So if he does well, don't be saying it was some bum.
No. I said it. Every time I bring it, my issue with Davis versus Barrios is not the fight. I never expected you to fight Josh Taylor. That was bullshit. You were never gonna do that. But my issue is not the fight. My issue is the price tag. Like, bro, that's not pay-per-view. It's like, no, that's not pay-per-view, bro.
Now you see, Antonio Mosley, you're taking the quote out of context. James said Tyson hit like a homosexual in comparison to Ernie Shavers. So don't if you're gonna use the quote, use the whole quote. Right?
Oh shit! I ain't know James said that shit.
He did. In comparison to Ernie Shavers, he said Mike hits pretty all right for some of his size. But compared to Ernie, he said compared to Ernie, he said Mike hit like a homo. Yeah.
Yo, shit. I had a boxing group on Facebook. I remember James Quick Tillis was in that shit, the boxing cowboy. He's around for a long time, man. Around for a long time. That's fucking wild. I think Mike's, like, Mike was a power puncher, don't get me wrong. But Mike's secret wasn't power, it was counterpunching. Hitting you with shit that you don't see. Because those is the motherfuckers that knock you out. The ones you don't see. You can't brace yourself for it. You can't tuck your chin. Can't get ready. Now if you don't see it.
Yeah, well but that's the same with Shavers as well. You know what I mean? Like,
Shavers was a fucking brute, dog. That fucking shot that he hit, Holmes, he's a brute, bro. He's a brute. He just hit hard, man.
Sledgehammer.
Motherfucker got Thor's hammer in them hands, man. Like Danny Garcia this weekend. He's a hard-hitting motherfucker. But he motherfucker figured you out. Like, yo, if you can't set your feet, bro, ain't gonna be no power in them shots. Hell, you ain't gonna want to throw. Because I'm in and out. And when I step in, I jab you, cover up, put something downstairs, get the fuck back out. You lost. You don't know what to do. That was my favorite fight of the weekend, the Pedraza fight. That shit was like, yo, Pedraza's fucking nice, man. I see why they call him a sniper. Fucking nice, man.
Yeah. Pedraza's got some skills, man. Can't play that down. Got some skills.
So we got this motherfucking weekend. I'm gonna be watching the DAZN card. I'm gonna be watching the ESPN card. And I'm gonna be watching the I'm gonna watch Triller. I'm gonna buy that shit. I'm gonna buy that dumb shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it just because Jim Lampley's gonna be doing it. So I haven't heard him from a while. It's 2018.
Michael Hunter is gonna be fighting the unstoppable Mike Wilson. How do you see that fight, Virtuoso? How do you see that fight?
Oh my God. Oh Jesus, man! He had a chance to fight Hergovich, man, and then went with this for the money. I mean, whatever. But the world's gonna run dry, man. If you keep it the way he does things.
Virtuoso, he better. I'm gonna tell y'all motherfuckers some shit, man. He better hope he get his money. That's all I'm gonna say, because they got a bad reputation over there. Motherfuckers is not getting paid.
I'm getting that. Remember Fire Festival? That bullshit that Jaru was involved in.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I'm getting.
He better. I hope that they get their money. I hope everybody get their money, because remember, they being litigated. There's litigations and shit going on right now. Motherfuckers ain't get their bread, And when established names like Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., when they don't get their motherfucking bread, the fuck make you think you gonna get your bread, Mikey Al Hunter?
Listen, all you gotta look at,
they didn't pay him in cheese sandwiches.
All you have to look at, what you got to look at, yeah, is you can say what you want about Jake and Logan, but they're about their paper. They're about their paper.
Yeah.
And you see Jake jumping shit like that, you better think about it before you sign anything.
Well, that's why I sort of, I think it was Boxing Social. They did the interview with Michael, and he was trying to say, "Oh, Eddie didn't want to fight. Eddie was playing games." He like, bro, if Triller wanted to bid on the Hrgovic fight, they would have bid on the Hrgovic fight if they wanted it. If they didn't want the fucking fight, bro. They convinced you to me, if I'm being honest, it looked like they told you some nice sounding shit, and you signed some shit. And now you in bed with their ass, and I don't know what's gonna happen. Because, like I said, I've been saying it for 2 months. They give me Rock Nation vibes. Except to me, it's not even Rock Nation in the sense they're like, yo, y'all not gonna be around. Y'all not gonna be around. You want $300 for annual subscription? You could suck my dick 300 times. Because I'm not giving you fucking crazy. $300. The fuck fights y'all got?
How much pay per view? Like. You got loads of pay-per-views coming up, man. Like with
what the fuck? Triller got a lot of goddamn nerve talking about some $300 a year, bro. Who the fuck you got fighting over there? You got Ivan Redcat and Dobbs. That's what you got over there.
They got a subscription, like a yearly subscription of $300.
Mm-hmm. The monthly is like 30. The monthly is like 30, and the annual is like $299.
Is Jay-Z going to be fighting in one of their cards or something? What the fuck is this?
Bro, Jim Lampley better fight. Unless it's Jim Gray versus Jim Lampley, like that's the kind of fights you better have. You better have the best shit.
Steve Cunningham and some wrestler. Come on, man. They're going to be better than that.
Mick Hennessy versus Frank Warren for the Commonwealth British title. You better have all that shit. The winner gets motherfucking David Higgins from fucking New Zealand. You better have everybody got to fight. Like everybody. The people in the crowd got to fight. Everybody got to fight. For $300 a year, everybody got to fight.
Yeah, you get a chance to fight, man.
Damn, man. Everyone's trying to make money out of boxing right now, man. Everybody's jumped on it.
Yeah, but how you not going to have a stable, right? You literally don't have a stable. You just signed Michael Hunter. You got Regis Prograis, Michael Hunter, and you want $300 a year.
Yeah.
They're crazy, yo.
I mean, look at the opponent that Michael Hunter's facing. You're out there for that kind of cover, man.
That just means that they're hurting for cash. You know, there's no way to cover that shame that they're losing money.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
You know, that's what they said too, that there's too much lavish spending. Like, look at the music acts. They had Doja Cat. They had a bunch of other motherfuckers that cost a lot. I'm like, yo, how the fuck y'all paying for this?
Justin Timberlake. Yeah. No, not Justin. No, not Justin. But I forgot his name now. Bieber.
Like, you remember they tried to scare people? They tried to scare people with the bullshit that if you stream the Jake Paul pay-per-view.
Yeah. Coming for you.
Well, you gonna have to find me, motherfucker. You gonna have to find me.
You have to find 300,000 people around in the United States. Yeah, good luck with that.
Good luck, bro. That you got the technology that Dana White don't have, or because Dana been threatening motherfuckers for years. I'm gonna find you.
Bro, you need the NSA to help you with that shit.
They can catch the main uploader, maybe. You know what I mean? But
they could catch the website. They could catch the website that's hosting the stream. That they could do. What they can't catch is the individual at home, like Ryan Kavanaugh gonna pop up on the screen, on your screen, like I caught you, motherfucker. I see you.
You know, under the zone broadcast or fights, they have a watermark, right? They got like a serial number, so that if you try to share it, you know, they could probably catch you with that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they caught Kovalev. Remember Kovalev, idiot.
Yeah.
No. Kovalev got caught on Instagram because his stupid ass. His stupid motherfucker had to fight live, and he went live on Instagram showing the fucking fight. He's that
Periscope
nigga's
that
a
shit.
dickhead. Like, yo, you stupid, bro. Why you did that?
Yeah.
Fucking Kathy Dubois should have caught that dude. Like, Kovalev, get off Instagram, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Stupid motherfucker, man. But really though, they want $300 a year, yo. That's more than the zone.
Nah, that's
Blow me
crazy.
for $300.
Way more than the zone.
That's 3 times as much as the zone. Damn near. That's 3 times. Like, and for Michael Hunter versus Mike Wilson, bro, you better have Michelle Joy Phelps versus Snow Queen.
Yeah.
You better have Jordan Plant versus Michael Jordan. Fuck it. Like, you got to have the best of the best fights. Real shit, because $300 a year for what?
Wow. That's
They
extortion.
fucking wild. They fucking wild over there, bro. They what? Like, yo, y'all crazy. Like, who the fuck you think gonna get y'all that?
Cat's talking about Ponce. Did you see Ponce smash up Louis Ritz on Saturday?
Bro, I passed the fuck out. I still gotta see that shit.
Oh, you ain't on the Coronas again, man.
No. It was just I had an afternoon nap. But I can always go to the fucking app. I can always go to my zone shit and watch it. I just haven't watched it yet. Everybody keep asking me, like, you seen Ritson versus Ponce? I'm like, nah, I ain't see Ponce.
You watched? I know you watched. Who's the girl fighting on the card? You watched?
Oh
that?
yeah, I watched her fight. That's after that I fell asleep.
April Hunter.
Yeah, after that I fell asleep.
That Argentinian
Yeah.
battered Ritson, man. He kicked his ass.
Was it worse than Lara versus Warrington?
Similar, but it just long. It was longer. It just more punishment, prolonged. This was a prolonged beating. You know what I mean?
I gotta
He
watch
just
that.
hammered him.
You know you're Frank Warren fighter.
Yeah. Funnily enough, yeah.
That's payback for Felix Cash versus Denzel Bentley. That's what that is. That's payback. I got something for you, Eddie. I got something.
Yeah.
I got something for you, son.
Hey guys, I'm off this, man. Peace out, guys.
All right, peace.
I'm about to get off this too. I'm about to take an afternoon nap. But holla at you, Beats.
All right, Ring. Peace.